Woohoo! David Wilcock live. Disclosure victory. Hello. We are so excited, everybody in the UFO community. If you have any kind of pulse at all, you should be very, very excited right now. This is what we've been waiting for basically all of my life. The official coming announcement that we are not alone in the universe. What an exciting topic for the show today. What an exciting time to be alive. What an exciting time for us to be here with each other, talking about this very, very pivotal moment in history that is happening to us right now. And I just can't even believe this. It's something I've waited my whole life for, and I'm so excited about it. And, you know, I even remember drawing something in art class when I was in high school about the day that disclosure would actually happen. And let's hear from you guys. Let's hear how you're doing. It's happening, baby. That's right. Rio Dragon. Hi, David from Scotland. Hello, everyone. Autocorrect sabotages me again. We stand on the brink of a new world. 17 was right. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very exciting. I just can't even believe it. I'm honestly like, it gives me a reason to be hopeful about the future. Gives me a reason to be, you know, so thrilled about being alive and being an American and being here on Earth right now. Wow. I mean, can you even believe this? Love the hair, somebody says. Sunday is our day with you. We're already up to 928 concurrent viewers. You guys are showing up for me. You have showed up in massive numbers already. We're at the... Please also discuss the slowly coming disclosures. Yep. Well, again, that's a key word, though. Let's not use that word. Again, very important that we try to keep this family friendly. Certain words don't really work out that well. But anyway, my concern is how the narrative will be controlled. Absolutely. And we got to be very careful about that in terms of, you know, who says what and what are we going to believe and who do we trust. The factor of our trust is very, well, that's weird. My camera showed me some type of graph on there that I've actually never seen before on my little display monitor window. I got these little 3 lines on the side, and I've never actually seen that before. So that was pretty weird. But hey, what the heck? You know, life is life, and we keep on going. We do what we're going to do. Starseed Crazy thinks it's going to be a nothing burger. Well, no, I definitely am not anticipating a nothing burger. I think we're going to be very surprised, and we'll talk about that a little bit, that, you know, some of the promises that we've already been made about what we're going to get out of this are pretty extensive. So I've waited a lifetime for this moment. Yeah, I feel the same. I'm super excited, and you can probably imagine how thrilled I am as a, you know, this is my main center of focus. This is what I do. You know, I'm the UFO guy. So like, wow, you know, it just can't get enough of that. When we're validated on this level, when we get that level of validation, it's stunning. So we're going to dig into all that today. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to expose more of the negative side of things. We're going to talk about the positive. We're going to talk about Fatima, how both sides of this are working. Because remember, the Virgin Mary sightings are a very important part of the puzzle too. And so Virgin Mary sightings have occurred with things that are like, you know, the process of, you know, UFOs being involved. We've had UFOs in the Virgin Mary sightings. That's a common feature of them, actually, that this is what they do. This is how they work. So don't be afraid. And I want to, again, thank you all so much for being here today. You are the reason why I'm doing this. And I just want to express my sincerest gratitude. I know there's a lot of different things you could do with your Sunday. And here we are. We're only 5 minutes in. You guys know disclosure is what we've been waiting for. We're already up to 1,422 concurrent viewers. Smash the like button. Only a third of you have done that so far. But let's get those likes up there as much as we can. That'll be awesome for me. So thank you in advance. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. It is a true honor and a privilege to be here with you today because disclosure is now upon us, man. What an exciting time. This is the moment we've been waiting for. And I just can't even believe it. When I think about my life and how much UFOs have been a part of my life and how much I've sought after this information over time and wanted to see it turn out, wanted to see, I remember watching In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy and being just dazzled. Oh, and we had already a huge donation come in. I want to catch that one. RW Phoenix, always love your show, David. This is what makes my Sundays. Peace, love, and light be unto us all. Namaste. Thank you very much. And I really, really appreciate that. You've been doing that every week, and that makes a huge difference for us. So thank you. And we have Anita Tompas donated. Thank you very much, Anita. Those tips in the tip jar really make a huge difference in helping me actually support my habit, my addiction of eating. You want to help support that addiction. Mira Patel, David, is an honor to be here on your live show. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. We had Beverly Adams just donated $10. Thank you, Beverly. Always nice to see you here. What is the mainstream media saying about this? Well, it is getting some coverage, although not a whole lot, but it's not been unfavorable, honestly. I don't think we could have expected a whole lot better than this. Are you expecting a call from 47? No, I don't think so. But, that's okay. He's doing his own thing. I'm doing my thing, and I would certainly be honored. I would certainly take the call, but I don't think that's going to happen. So anyway, Jacob Schurer says, NCS something something, we are all one. So that's great. And Cosmic Dreams just donated. Thank you very much, you guys. It's awesome. Really, really appreciate it. So this is the moment we've been waiting for, everybody. It's been long in coming. And wow, just what an exciting time to be alive, man. When we think about the way the world is going to change with disclosure happening, it is all encompassing. Because remember, many people in my parents' generation were, encouraged to look at this as something that's like, not credible. They were given lots of disinformation. They were given a campaign of hatred, self-hatred. You don't even get to love yourself if you believe in UFOs. And you look back to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and as he becomes more aware of the UFO phenomenon, he goes crazy and he ruins his family. He makes this Devil's Tower out of mashed potatoes, and he disses his wife and his daughter. We had 3 more donations come in. Sarah Tahumat, Danine, and Little Tiny Joe. Here we go. Everything you've researched and taught is now becoming our reality. That is right. We had thank you. Thanks for everything you do. Filthy shirt. It's not a filthy shirt. This shirt is very clean. In fact, I pressed it today. So anyway, that one got moderated. No, the shirt is entirely clean. I don't know why somebody would say that, but it's a little bit wrinkly, I guess, but what the heck, show must go on. And this one definitely shows some contrast in the lights. We have Julian in Georgia and Jacob Schurer, who just donated again. Thank you very much. Nothing can stop. Yep, I know. Focus, focus, ascension. That's right. So it's a good time, man. It's a really, really good time to turn within and get ready, because this is going to create a spiritual revival in humanity like nothing we've ever seen, dude. When you understand the impact of what disclosure is, when you understand the scope of what people are going to be learning and how that affects their relationship to the cosmos, how that affects who they are and what they believe, it is just thrilling to me. I cannot tell you how excited I am, because, again, it's never really real until it happens. It's never going to be official until it's official. It's never going to really happen until it really happens. And we've already gotten the first wave. And there's a lot more depth to that story even than what you've heard, that unless you're really following the news as carefully as I do. So this is great. I mean, I'm super excited. And another thing was that this announcement that the files will be released came literally the day before the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. This is true, you guys. It actually was the day before the Saturn-Neptune conjunction of February 20th. It's hard to imagine how the astrology did so well that we had this planetary conjunction, this planetary alignment that's of great significance, and that it happens one day before that alignment. The day before that alignment, we had a very prominent arrest that took place, which I'm sure you know about. And we also had, that was shocking too. I mean, that's one of the things, we've never seen anything like that happen before, not at that level. And then on the very same day, we get a disclosure announcement. I mean, wow, that really, really blew my mind. PC user donated, says, great day. Anyway, we are, Starseed says, I'm planning on sitting back with my popcorn. Kathy McIntyre says, I look marvelous. Well, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. We're just doing the best we can here to have a great show and do what we can to bring it to you guys live and in person. Charlie Winter, hello, David. You look great. I'm so excited for the information to come out. Pray it is well received. Let's embrace this knowledge with love and understanding. You've worked so hard for this disclosure. Denise Roberts, thank you for all you do for humanity. I've watched you for years, and you are amazing. Some people don't like that I read the comments, but that's okay. We're just doing the best we can here, and we want to honor you for your donations, so I thank you very, very much. We're already on a good track here of fundraising, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, please don't say those keywords, though. Just because you know what it is, we don't need to say it in the chat, okay? Yeah, it's very important that when I bring up those things that we don't have the chat spill over. I mean, you know, try to be circumspect as much as you can. David is the man, and he gives me hope for humanity. You did look very nice, calm, and composed. Thank you for that. All right, so this was the day before the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. We talked about it last week. We said it was a big deal. Isn't this a really great validation of astrology? It is a big deal, and it happened right on Friday. Well, the conjunction was on Friday the 20th. And remember what we read last week? How prophetic has this turned out to be already? Is February 20th the most important day of 2026? Let's just say it could be the starting block of a new era. The Saturn-Neptune alignment hasn't occurred since 1989 and not at this degree of Aries since 1702. Here's what the Aries point in astrology means for you. Absolutely. So again, this is just a thrilling, thrilling time to be alive. Let me go and close my drapes here. We'll get a little bit less echo if I do that. Sorry about that. I just wanted to get this one little detail buttoned up, and then we're all set. Okay, perfect. Okay, you guys. So it's a very exciting time. We had 2 more donations, Caleb Birch and Gaia. Thank you, David. I always look forward to your shows. I usually come in late. It's always a pleasure. And thanks for your work. What a time to live in. All right. Yeah, I know that there's a big storm coming for the East Coast again. It's supposedly record-breaking once more. There could be, you know, all kinds of reasons for that, but don't let it break your will. Don't let it break your spirit. I know you're strong. You're tough. You can handle this. We're going to get through this, and everything's going to turn around. Jason Catt also just donated and says, thank you, David. You're right about everything for all your hard work and bring light into the world. What about March 3rd? We are going to recommend the March 3rd deadline. Yeah, so again, Paul Cannon, please don't use those keywords. You know, I don't know why people don't want to listen, but that's okay. Paul sometimes likes to push the edge, but anyway, just try to be more circumspect. That's all I'm asking. Anyway, good enough. So Paul, we love you, buddy. Just wanted to make that point. What does it actually say about this conjunction that hasn't occurred since this degree of Aries since 1702? It exposes hidden power networks. Oh my God. Once in a generation alignment that merges structure with spirituality. Remember, this is the day before this is when the disclosure announcement was actually made. It's going to change humanity forever. And it says right here that blending disciplined, boundary-setting Saturn with dreamy, limitless Neptune in pioneering Aries. That's right. Boundaries are being set. The government has to disclose. They have to reveal what they know, creating a Genesis moment for new beginnings. Well, maybe they did watch the show, or maybe they're aware of this conjunction, but it's like, wow. Talk about a great auspicious time to make that announcement the day before this conjunction. I would say that's bang on the money. It's awesome. The timing could not be better, and it really, really has me excited. So again, super rare, powerful alignment not seen in Aries in over 9,000 years, emphasizing a new era or reset point. So, yep, that definitely would sound like disclosure to me. And then the combination of Saturn, structure and reality, with Neptune, dreams, spirituality. In Aries, the sign of action initiation, suggests turning visions or spiritual ideals into concrete, tangible realities. And look at this, the restructuring of institutions. Oh my God, there's a whole institution around the idea of, whether we can be told the truth or not. It's been kept from us for so long. That's institutionalized at the highest levels. It's just something that always seems to be in place. And it also has to do with the rise of new ideologies or the blending of technology with spirituality. Well, yes, knowing that UFOs are real is a fundamentally vast new ideology, and this news went out. Everybody had the chance to hear it. They're now getting to wait and with anticipation for the details for what's going to happen. But man, this is just so thrilling to me. I can't tell you guys how excited I am as having been somebody hacking it out in the trenches for so long, UFO research, doing all this stuff. Just can't even believe it, man. After all these years, all this time, like, wow, how in the world did we actually make it to this point where we got to this level of disclosure? It is just stunning, and I don't even know what to say. I'm so excited. And it's just so much a part of my life. You guys know that. How long I've been looking at this stuff and trying to be, on the ball with you and trying to be on the ball with disclosure. I'm just looking to see if I can maybe boost my brightness a little bit here. Let's just see what that does. Hold on, you guys. Yeah, maybe that makes it a little... Do you like that brightness increase a little bit more? I think that looks good, huh? I just boosted the brightness on this camera very slightly. Anyway, we are dancing. It's a frog party at the moment. Disclosure is meant to be inevitable. Okay, so new ideologies, restructuring of institutions, or the blending of technology with spirituality. I couldn't have even anticipated that we would get disclosure on that day. The blending of technology with spirituality. Yeah, please don't say the E word, you guys. Come on. It should be obvious why. I mean, we just... anyway. Yeah, well, that's for sure. Lots of words that you don't want to say. So anyway, we're trying to do our best here to stay on top of the story. And again, the fact that this happened on the actual astrological alignment date is, to me, extremely significant, extremely powerful, because, as you also see here, let's go over to the slide again, it may also bring to light secrets, conspiracies, or hidden power networks. Well, you don't get much more of a hidden power network than actually being the UFO cover-up, man. So all that stuff that's coming out right now, it's all part of a much bigger and more fun disclosure, changing our planet, making us more alive, more in the moment, more able to appreciate what's really going on. It's about time. You're darn right. You always boost our brightness, brother David. Thank you very much. Looks like Spielberg's movie's coming out too late. Well, it'll still come out when it comes out, but yeah, this was definitely another kind of surprise where we didn't really think that anything was going to happen like this, and then all of a sudden it did. And so to me, I'm just really, really thrilled about it. And I can't say how much gratitude I have that this is happening now, and that we're all getting the message. We're all getting this disclosure wave, this disclosure understanding. It's very, very powerful. And again, secrets, conspiracies, well, there you go. It's been secret. It's been a conspiracy. There's been a cover-up, and it's not all good. We're gonna need spiritual guidance as this stuff comes out, because some of the disclosure process is very scary, and it's going to take some time, I guess. He says we're going to begin to bring it out. We'll talk about that. But what words should we not say? Well, again, anything that has to do with very negative stuff that's been out about files and things, let's try to avoid those words. Any of the names, I would say that's very important. And just try to be aware of that. But wow, we've got a great turnout today with 2,541 viewers already, and we're only 20 minutes in. So I'm very honored that you guys showed up for me today. You're ready to hear about disclosure. Helen Pauline says, love your channel, incredible knowledge. Thank you. Thank you, Helen. We really appreciate you being here today. So it's a very exciting moment for me. I've certainly been, following this subject for so many years that to have something like this happen, I'm just giddy. I'm like a kid in a candy store saying, thank goodness this finally happened. Thank goodness we've finally got what we wanted out of this. It's not everything happening yet, but, we now see an inevitability. We see forward movement. We have something to be helpful. Well, again, don't use those words, because if we put it in the chat, we often see that those people get moderated, their messages get retracted, and so we're just trying to be more careful than usual. Oh, breaking news, El Mencho taken out, cartel. I didn't know about that. So anyway, very cool. All right, so everything that we are seeing is in the astrology, and that's pretty exciting. I mean, all the disclosure stuff was predicated off of this. It says right here that it's going to impact cardinal signs. It's part of a longer, intense phase building through 2025, which is when obviously the election results changed who was in office, setting the stage for a new long-term societal direction, a new direction in society. Well, yes, disclosure paves the way for forbidden technology. Disclosure paves the way for all sorts of things that we didn't already know to come to light. And it paves the way for an actual family reunion where we now have the free will to bring these beings back into our reality again, which to me is probably one of the most exciting parts out of this of all, the idea that they might actually return. So we have the astrological interpretations here. Saturn in Aries encourages cultivating discipline, resilience, and taking personal responsibility for your actions. Well, that's definitely, doing disclosure is taking personal responsibility. So that fits very, very, all of this fits incredibly well. It really does. Neptune in Aries, this is a really great one. It initiates a new era focusing on pioneering, independent, and perhaps unconventional spiritual or artistic pursuits. Well, how much more unconventional spiritual can you get than revealing that we're not alone in the universe and that there are these beings visiting us who are benevolent, positive, and actually protecting us from evil, and that there's evil ones too, but we have to be aware that there's two sides to the story. Judy Booth, happy to catch you live this week. I'm dealing with many difficulties. Appreciate prayers and good vibes from your wonderful community. We pray for you, Judy, very much. Thank you. Father, Mother, God, please help Judy as much as you can. Thank you very much. Oh, Linda Leah says the sun just blasted off a solar mega flare consisting of an 8.1, 1.5, and 2.8 triple X class flare sequence. Wow, that just happened. Apparently, it's an exciting time, man. Everything is coalescing, converging all at once here. New, unconventional, spiritual, and artistic pursuits. Can you even believe that? How well this conjunction delivered on the disclosure promise. It was like they knew the astrology and they did it on purpose. Now, is that true? Maybe. Maybe they watched the show. Maybe they heard about this from me or somebody else. But either way, it's very exciting, and who knows? I'm just very thrilled. It's a great time to be alive. We've got so much to look forward to, you guys. This is like everything I've ever dreamed of. And anyway, somebody says lies. There's been no X-class flares in the last few days. Well, somebody said it just happened. Anyway, we can... there we go. There we go, Gene. Thank you very much. Hello, Ascension family. Catching up at 2x speed, says Vacapalo. Well, glad to have you here, Vacapalo. Anyway, we're at 2,772 viewers. That's pretty awesome. We're topping out around 3,000 lately, so we're already up there pretty quick. And anyway, unconventional spiritual artistic pursuits, pioneering and independent. The empathetic machine, a realistic dream, aims to build, but in a new and more visionary way. Notes starpowered.com. So again, it's part of a longer, intense phase, building the stage for a new, long-term direction in society, This is all part of our grand cosmic evolutionary process. Week after week, I've been telling you that once again, there are positive ETs out there, and their main message is that we are going through an ascension process. The whole reason why most of the ETs visiting us are good, first of all. The whole reason why they're here is to try to usher us through a quantum leap in human evolution. It's much bigger than me. It's much bigger than whether I give this message, but I'm happy to do so because I know this is what it's really about. And with that knowledge comes power, and with that power comes understanding. We get to understand who we are in the cosmos. We get to understand our relationship to higher forces, higher beings, and we're not alone. And so ascension is the key. Remember, 35 different ancient cultures had it written into their mythologies. That was Santayana von Deschen. We talked about that last week. They wrote a book called Hamlet's Mill, which is stunning in terms of the depth and complexity. We've also talked about the intelligent cosmos, that the photon is what makes reality. Those photons are alive and intelligent, and they also store and carry information. So part of what's happening is that our sun is giving off these new photons that are upgrading our DNA. We talked again about that last week. Our DNA is going through profound change, and we are going through profound change, and the presence of extraterrestrial beings here is a very, very fundamental and intrinsic part of how we get through this ascension process. So it's a wonderful time to be alive, and ascension is fundamentally an awakening. Now, many people have still remained asleep, and so this kind of thing really knocks the cobwebs out of people's head, wakes you up, gives you a whole new reason to believe, to understand. Oh, wow. Beverly Adams says, GFI outlets are blowing out in our area, and the local electric company is telling people it's from coronal mass ejections. How about that? Well, that's pretty interesting. Yes, amplituhedron, that's right. We got to remember, Nima Arkani Hamed said that there is definitely something going on here that's going to be, you know, a single object that the whole universe is made from in space and in time. That all of space and all of time is the emanation of this single geometric object, which, as we've said before, seems to resolve back to this intrinsic Star of David shape that I'm handing you right here. Paul Cannon says that according to EZ, Dr. Greer says he's prepared a speech for the president to announce the existence of ETs visiting our world for a millennium. Well, I don't know if the president would read anybody else's speech. He's probably going to write his own, and I think that's the way he's going to end up doing it. But, you know, maybe that's true. I mean, who knows? Claims can be made, and it would be great to. I just can't wait to hear what this is going to be. That's really the focus for me. And we're already just about to hit 3,000 views, so we're getting better turnout than usual. My energy has been incredibly powerful since I've heard about this disclosure probability. The excitement is almost overwhelming. It's hard to come down from this high. Yes, absolutely. So, David, you will be respected if the disclosure comes out. Yes, I mean, I definitely feel like it's a very positive thing, and I'm happy about it. Let's just hope that it really does happen. I don't know what else to say except that it's super exciting, and I'm just like thrilled about the whole thing. So again, the amplituhedron, the universe made from a consciousness, from a living consciousness, all of space and time, the product of one intelligence that fundamentally boils down to a single geometric form. That is very exciting. That is what we're looking at week after week. I keep bringing it up. Am I laughing or crying? Well, I'm definitely laughing. I'm excited about this. And we got to remember that most people are still asleep. They haven't really woken up yet. So this type of an announcement creates changes in the physics. As our minds awaken, as we learn more, as we explore and understand more, the physics actually changes. The way our consciousness works in the brain actually changes. We go to a higher frequency, which is, you know, not just pseudoscience. I do believe that's a real thing, that you can have a higher coherence in your brain. You have more confidence, you have more happiness, and also there's narrative battles going on. There's narrative control that's being sought to try to control the narrative, how this is going to go, who's going to say what to whom. And many people, again, are still asleep. And so one of the roles that I would like to have here is to help to make sure that we don't forget that the vast majority of all the ETs that are out there are benevolent. There's clearly been a showbiz campaign for a very long time to try to make you afraid, to try to make you scared, and we don't really want that. We want people to be confident and happy when you get disclosure, not thinking, oh my God, this is the end of the world, not thinking, oh my God, they're about to invade and they're going to hurt us or they're going to kill us or something like this. You know, that's what we're trying to do here. So look, we're really, and somebody just wrote the keyword again. Please don't write the keyword, especially the E. You know, it's just a very important thing. Yeah, laughing and crying at the same time is a sign of ascension. Everybody's asking about med beds. Well, the med beds probably will come out. It's a suppressed technology we've heard about extensively. It probably will be part of disclosure in time. I don't know how soon, but let's hope that we get there because those are going to be very useful. Supposedly, there's technology that can heal you immediately in very little time using advanced technology. So the vast majority of all the visitors that are coming here these days are benevolent, and that really does take us to a whole new level of the game when we understand that they are very much protecting over us, guiding over us, watching us. They're called the Watchers in the Bible. It's one of the terms for them. And this is an essential key to understanding ancient religion. So instead of us feeling like, oh, religious institutions are going to be destroyed and people aren't going to have faith anymore, they're not going to know what to do. No, I think this is going to strengthen and revivify faith. I think that people are going to be fundamentally enlivened with the knowledge, like you know, if you're a Jew, then how is it that this Star of David that they say is the shape of God actually appears to be the shape of God? Beverly says, we are the medbeds. Robert Warren, hi David, I've not seen it. Where is this disclosure going to take place? Well, guess what, Robert? We've got all that stuff in the slides, so just hang in there. An essential key to understanding ancient religion is having the knowledge of this fact that ETs do exist. They've been visiting us this whole time, and in many cases, most of them are far more human-looking than we realize. It is really, really exciting when you think about that, the fact that they have these human-looking features. They are not at all like octopus tentacle creatures or, you know, they actually have faces. They have eyes, nose, and mouth. The gray physiology is fairly common, but that's actually pretty divergent compared to where most of them are. Most of these ETs actually have a pretty exciting human-like appearance. They might have a different color to their skin. They might be pastel blue, pastel yellow, pastel pink, pastel green, even orange. There's different colors like that we see. And J. Bo Philippe just donated right here. When I was a kid, I used to have things called silent seizures, and they were atypical. It was like my consciousness was gone. EEG showed I was in delta waves while I was awake. Ideas. Yes, I mean, that typically does associate with people having advanced capabilities. There does appear to be extraterrestrial DNA, that we, in fact, are the descendants of humans who came here. That's why I'm saying there are some ETs who don't just look a little bit like us, they look very much like us. I mean, it's shockingly similar. And humans on Earth, one of the things that we may get out of disclosure is the idea that humans on Earth are descended from visitors that came from various planets with those appearances. So, you know, you look at the difference between how an Asian person looks versus a Caucasian versus a black person. Each of those people may have actually come originally from different planets. It appears that the indigenous human here on Earth was the black person. There's reason to believe that, and I know a lot of them like that when I say that, but it does appear to be true. But everybody may have come here from somebody else. It's just that they may have been first. We don't really know, but that's right. Yeshua is the creator. We love you. Thank you very much. I love you wanting to share comments, but it's very distracting. Well, I'll try not to, but when people donate, we want to honor that. So try not to distract you guys. So most of these beings are far more human-like than we realize, which is why I disagree with the now widespread use of the term NHI for non-human intelligence. Non-human intelligence, well, it's human-like. I mean, they are human insofar as how similar they look to a human being. So is it really non-human intelligence, or is it just non-Earth human intelligence? And that's something we can quibble about and we can get into an argument about, but whatever. It's okay. The point is that we know from a variety of sources that I'm going to go over again today that the vast majority of the ETs that are visiting us today are benevolent, they're human-looking, they're positive, and they want to help us out, and they want us to get through this evolutionary leap. And so when we get a disclosure announcement like this, it's going to be something that we can take to the bank because it could lead to a galactic family reunion. This is one of the briefings I got from my insiders that I'm just so thrilled about now, the possibility that all of these things that I've been told for so long are finally getting ready to happen. I mean, it's just so exciting, I can't even tell you. And at the same time, we got to remember that there is good versus evil in the universe. There is a light side and a dark side, and this is going to pop out religious texts and religious spirituality and understanding into 3 dimensions like never before, which is probably part of the reason why apparently 47 is getting pushed back, and there's some forces that really, really don't want this to come out. And I'm going to show you some examples of that. John Greenwald's entire black vault of documents just got deleted right when he was going to be helping with this process. There's chatter that people are trying to stop this disclosure from happening. They don't want it to come out. And it might have been another big surprise from what we've called the Alliance. Now, again, as I was saying, it's a battle of good versus evil. That is very real. So the good guys are benevolent. They founded religions. The bad guys are actually very, very evil, very, very intensely evil, as we've known for a long time. Wow, we've got a really great turnout, better than usual, 3,303 people right now. Thank you all for being here. And again, smash the like button. Only about half of you have done that right now. So please hit the like button. So yes, there may be upsetting aspects to this disclosure, and that has also been telegraphed. So part of my role, I believe, is to get you ready for the fact that some of this is going to be a little unpalatable, a little hard to swallow. Let's go back to what we saw last week. Tucker saying that ETs have been here forever, that there are aspects of this that are very disturbing in terms of its spiritual component. Well, that starts to sound like the devil. It starts to sound like demons. That's something that comes up a lot. We're going to hear a lot more about that today. So here it is again. They're not aliens. They've been here forever. In this much-watched clip, he reveals, I think it's likely that the U.S. government has had contact with these, direct contact over a period of years. These are not aliens. I think they've been here forever. And again, we've had direct contact over a period of years. And that's, again, I've been fortunate enough, similar to Dr. Greer and certain others in this community, to be able to meet with various insiders who claim that they actually worked in these programs. These programs were all of this stuff that we would never be able to get access to. It's been hidden from us, these frustrating, oh my gosh, are we ever going to get the truth? Well, no. There are some people right now working in programs where, there's not very many of them, it's only thousands maybe, but they're working in these programs where they have direct interaction with extraterrestrials, probably more than thousands, maybe tens of thousands, but not a whole lot, maybe even a few 100,000 possibly. Now, there could be other people that grow up in these worlds and they've never left them. They might be clones, but it's a very small group actually that's controlling the UFO cover-up. But at that level, according to the briefings that we originally heard from Greer and briefings that I've received on my own, we have a vast infrastructure, man. There are so many people doing this. Reagan tried to give us a heads up, that's right. David, the years of work you've done documenting everything leading up to where we are now is very impressive. Thank you very much. And so, is Predator acceptable? I don't know, you're talking about, I mean, that's fine. It's going through fine. So, anyway, you guys are asking a lot of funny questions, a lot of random questions, but Charlie Winter says, how do you anticipate those of us who are star seeds affiliated with certain ET groups will be affected by their presence on Earth if those groups should show up? Well, that's a very off-topic question, but I did also want to take questions. So star seed is a complex discussion, the idea that some people have at least a soul connection, if not perhaps a genetic connection, to certain extraterrestrial groups. It's possible that certain people have been abducted, that they were given flu viruses and that they were brought back, and that the flu virus introduces more ET DNA into your system. Or it's also true that there's different groups of people that have their own extraterrestrial DNA. The black race has a very powerful strain of extraterrestrial DNA. Everybody does. Every racial category on Earth, without exception, has certain strong extraterrestrial components to their DNA because, again, none of us originated here. We all started out somewhere else, apparently, and we all have spring-loaded DNA. Everybody has DNA with capabilities that we don't have yet. And so, yes, it would stand to reason that if we got that moment where ETs visit us as a whole, that spring-loaded DNA is going to be activating, and that people who are wanderers or ET souls may start to remember more. That absolutely, I believe, could happen. So it's a very exciting time to be alive. And wow, our turnout is wonderful. We have 3,489 viewers. You guys showed up for disclosure. So we're ahead of where we've been. Do you think we will have live interviews with extraterrestrials? We very well could. We very well could. That may be a part of what this turns into. And I'm excited about that, man. So getting back to what Tucker said here, I believe the U.S. government has had direct contact with them over a period of years. And again, that's just so exciting when you look at the implications of what this really means, that there are hidden groups of people that have already been talking with them. They've already been working with them. They're already off planet. They're on Mars. They're on the moon. They're on various asteroids and moons in our solar system and beyond. In fact, Pete Peterson was saying that there's something like 62 or 65 different locations outside of our solar system where we have bases of various kinds. And so that's in the deepest levels of what the Age of Disclosure film called the Legacy Program. Legacy Program, they reverse engineered spaceships going back to shortly after the time of Roswell. The Germans apparently had done it even before the Roswell crash with Die Glocke, or the bell. Die Glocke means clock. And Kronos was the name of the project. Or no, Glocke doesn't mean clock. I think I got that wrong. Die Glocke means the bell. But anyway, the Kronos project is what they called it because these are time machines. When you build true anti-gravity, you get time travel as well. It's pretty exciting. Other podcasters have stated he's going to make an official announcement, the 47 will, before July. Well, he already did. I mean, we're getting to that. Anyway, this is not just going to go away, you guys. We're in the thick of disclosure. It's happening now. I'm thrilled about it. It's a great time to be alive, and it would be freaky if well-known people turned out to be ETs, says Paul Cannon. If they look like us, how would we know the difference? Well, I've heard that there are tightly regulated restrictions around migration from ET societies into our planet. There are ETs that look just like us, but it is very tightly controlled by insiders. And so, for example, I've been told that at certain times, certain casinos are shut down in Las Vegas, and that human ETs will come up and they will compete with each other in cheating in Vegas games, whether it's, craps with the dice, whether it's the roulette wheel, or whether it's, poker, where they can telepathically read the hands of the cards. And I've also heard that the farmers markets in Las Vegas and in California sometimes have human ETs that get walked around in there. Now everybody's going to want to go to the farmer's market, right? Like, oh, wow. So, these are the things that we've heard. These are the things that are going on. And thank you, Vacapalo. We want to be clear that this is something that should benefit humanity. I think it's going to benefit everyone. And I think that we're doing a good thing by sharing it with us now. It's like the cantina scene. Well, the cantina scene actually has a lot more physiological differences between the ETs and what we really have. Most of them really do look pretty human. And again, a gray is pretty far off from most of what we've got out there. So again, part of it is disturbing. That's what he's saying right here. There are things about this that are really disturbing. While I hate any kind of government secrecy, I do sort of understand why they don't want to let this stuff out. I guess I missed that highlight for the middle line there, but he does sort of understand, and then immediately he says, I think it's very clear, whoops, there we go, he does understand. I think it's very clear that there's a spiritual component to this, and that's one of the reasons the Vatican has been involved for over 100 years. Well, he's tiptoeing around, but not very much. Beth Costello, thank you very much. Santa Claus is a psyop. Help me spread the word. That's really funny. So anyway, the spiritual component clearly is getting close to the idea that there's maybe our ideas of Satan, our ideas of demons. That is part of it. But again, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So many ancient religions have benevolent angelic beings that show up that give us spiritual teachings of various sorts. And that is such a big part of this. You can't get around it. You can't deny it. It's a huge part of disclosure. So what do you think? Government cover-up or spiritual awakening? Drop your thoughts below. Again, this is very powerful. We're looking at the possibility. Tucker Carlson, who's clearly in the know, he's got knowledge that most of us wouldn't have access to, telling us, yes, there is something weird about this. There's a spiritual component, and it's going to be disturbing for people. They're not going to necessarily want the information. Now, I don't think that the first round of disclosure is going to include that. I think that we're going to get it in drips and drips and drips. We're at the beginning of a process that will probably unfold over a pretty long period of time. I don't anticipate that we're just going to get everything dropped on us because, frankly, now that I introduced that term into the lexicon, the ontological shock, meaning the shock to your belief system, the shock to your worldview, the shock to your basic everyday reality that you live in and that you work with in your daily life, that ontological shock, we don't want people to have too much of that. We want you to be able to still function, to still want to get up in the morning, to go to work, to drive your car, to buy groceries, eat food, and not just lie in bed all day in a fetal position. And so the negative side will come out in time, but I don't think we're going to get the first round of it. So we remember already when we were talking last week that there were rumors of a coming official disclosure already circulating. This is what somebody said again in the comments. Groundbreaking UFO speech is ready to go. So a UFO researcher said that the president may reveal decades of alleged evidence of UFOs and ETs. He may have prepared a speech to disclose this alleged evidence to the public, according to Mark Christopher Lee. We're going to hear from him again in just a minute here. So here he is. And he has a book here called The King of UFOs. Or it looks like maybe, no, it's a book. The British writer and self-described ufologist says that he was informed by an advisor to the Trump administration. He's doubling down on this. Apparently this person is intending to come forward in May. So, you know, I mean, he could be making it up, but maybe he's not. The president has received permission from fellow world leaders to make such an announcement. Well, again, it all of a sudden happened. The announcement has already started. It's going in a very positive direction now, and it's happening as we speak. So, wow. And again, I read this last week, but this is very important context of what happens next. So the permission was granted from fellow world leaders, and he says the address will expose the truth of decades of evidence concerning unexplained aerial phenomena. And we also have material recovered from alleged crash sites and military eyewitness accounts. Wow. So we're already getting, I mean, again, now, is he telling the truth? We don't know. Would this make the president angry if it was all made up? Yes, it would. So we want to respect that as well, that if this is not what's going on, it might make him angry, and maybe that's what caused him to come out anyway. Like, you know, if people are going to say this, then maybe I need to make good on it. But maybe it is true. Maybe there is a senior advisor, and maybe this is all part of the story, and we have reason to believe that it's true. We do. So he's actually going to bring out recovered materials and military eyewitness accounts. Well, when we get into the whistleblower accounts and people who have actually seen these things, that's where it really gets exciting, man. I mean, the testimonies of whistleblowers, the testimonies of people who have really said things and come on the record is where it starts to get exciting, because you get crash retrievals, you get all this really cool stuff, and depending on who the insiders are, and depending on what they say, we may even find out that, yes, there are bases on the moon, bases on Mars, and as Rich Dolan has said, this is basically like a breakaway civilization. I've been very fortunate to have a number of people give me this. Oh, The president is giving a State of the Union address on Tuesday. Is it too soon? Well, I don't know, but that's great. And Joanne Rose says, hello, David. It's great to listen to your channel today. Thank you very much. We are at 3,770 concurrent viewers, so you guys really showed up for me. I really appreciate that. Kind of the last minute, I announced this one. I wasn't even sure if I was going to do a show this week, but I said, oh my God. Even though we had these horrible, horrible cold and winds, it was like very warm on Monday, then it got super, super cold. It was incredibly depressing, to be honest with you. I said, there is no way that I can allow this to go by and not get on the air and share with you guys the good news about disclosure and what's happening and where this is going. I mean, I just can't even believe it, man. I'm so thrilled. Can we do a little I told you so? Yes, we can. Absolutely. Thank you, David, for your time and sharing information. Been waiting for a new show. That's right. It's confirmation, not disclosure. If full disclosure happens in the next few years, what would be the immediate societal, technological, and spiritual changes, and how would we prepare? Well, that's the whole topic of today's show. So we're gonna get into all that. Don't worry, okay? But what we're getting, even in the very first wave, the very first speech is going to include materials recovered from crash sites, military eyewitness accounts, and the truth of decades of evidence. It is so cool. Military eyewitnesses, man, I mean, they can, when we understand who's really out there and what they have to say, dude, this can go a long, long way. It really can. And so I'm really excited about that because the eyewitness testimony to me is where it really comes home and everything just starts to click and it starts to make sense in a way that it never otherwise would. And you're saying, wow, this is just so freaking exciting. He stated, this is even better, right? I mean, this is the very first thing we're going to get right out of the gate, even before drip, 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 however long it takes for the drips to come out. The very first drip will confirm forensic analysis of recovered off-world vehicles and non-human biologicals, or biologics as they're calling them here. I've never heard that term before, but that's now coming out, establishing that they have an extraterrestrial origin. So again, in light of the fact that he made the announcement, this was only a rumor. Remember, last week when I read this, this was a rumor. This was not confirmed. This was not proven. This was just a speculative. Maybe it's just some guy trying to sell books. Maybe it's just some guy wanting to get clicks on his video. And then days after we talked about this, it all comes out in the open that there is going to be an announcement. I mean, wow, the announcement already started. I don't expect too much too soon, says Natasha. Well, I get you, but again, this is what the speech apparently has already been prepped for. The first official acknowledgement of this reality by any world leader. Well, isn't it hilarious that Obama comes out and beats him to it, and that happened on Valentine's Day. So after this was made, but before we did our show, because we did our show the day after Valentine's Day, Obama actually came out and said, aliens are real. And again, we don't want to use the word aliens necessarily because they're not really alien. They're actually very familiar to us. They're a major, major part of Earth's history and humanity in general. But again, wow, can you imagine that, there's a disclosure war going on and 47 wanted to be first and then Obama beats him to it. And that probably got him angry, and you can see evidence of that, which we'll discuss again today, that he apparently disclosed classified information. First official acknowledgement of this reality. Okay. We are told in the article that it was originally going to happen during the United Nations General Assembly in September, but that they've now apparently rescheduled it to July the 8th for the 79th anniversary of the Roswell crash. Well, what did we also say here? That the insider said that he may want to act spontaneously and not hang around waiting until July the 8th, but actually do it sooner than that because, for example, he may be worried about being beaten to it by Russia or China. Well, sure enough, ended up being Obama that beat him to it. But this knowledge had come out before Obama made that statement. So I think he wanted to be first. It's like a little tit-for-tat war between the two of them. Well, he did act spontaneously. So this again, which we read last week, became immediately prophetic, and then it ended up happening on none other than the day before the big Saturn-Neptune conjunction, which is all about the exposure of hidden power structures, the inauguration of new ways of living and being in society, artistic and spiritual renaissance, technological renaissance. I mean, wow. Disclosure is going to do all those things, so it's so exciting to me, I just can't even tell you guys. There's plenty of people trolling about this on social media, as we said before. Anybody who talks about UFOs is called a grifter, con artist, etc. And I want to make sure that I get your comments in too. Do it on July 4th, the United States' 250th birthday. Well, that would be great. But again, it's up to him. And, we just want to make sure that this is going to work out. I don't really care when it happens. I just want to make sure it gets done. And the sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. Wow, you guys, we're up to 3,905 concurrent viewers. It's the biggest audience we've had in a long time. Thank you for showing up, and I really appreciate everything. The people on 3i Atlas gave us the go-ahead. 3i Atlas is definitely another big part of this, but that seems like it could be the setting up of a staged alien invasion. And, make it scary, make it weird, make it, who knows what's going to be inside the ship? Are there beings inside the ship? Are they reptilians? Do they want to invade us? And then remember, if this breakaway group has very negative and disturbing elements to it, if there's evil in the breakaway civilization, then maybe they do want to create something that would really upset people and, make it difficult. So I don't know. It's, anything is possible. And I'm just keeping a positive attitude. But if there was to be a staged invasion off of something like 3i Atlas, we need to know about it in advance so that we're not caught off guard. Because again, remember Reagan's speech at the United Nations? What did he say? He said, "What could possibly unite us more than the perceived alien threat from another world that we all have to unify against?" And after all these years, this has been my whole thing. My mother's like, "David, I want you to be interested in things." Well, I am interested in this. I mean, this is my forte. And so for something that I've been interested in for so long, talking about this for so long, to have disclosure happening, it's just really, really exciting. I look forward to it. I want to see where this goes. I want to see where this takes us as a planet, and it's so thrilling. So, yeah, there's lots of trolling going on, as always will happen. Anybody talking about this called a grifter, con artist, etc. But up until now, the claim has not been refuted. In fact, he was proven right, because then immediately 47 did make an announcement. And it looks like this Age of Disclosure film pushed us very close to the edge. So then after he made this statement, Obama spills the beans on Valentine's Day, and this is one of the places where it was posted where you can see the video. He says they're real. So this was actually covered by the New York Post, as you're going to see right here. And it says, whoops, sorry, let me go back again. I was looking at something else. Former President Barack Obama has said that extraterrestrials are real, but he has no idea where they are during a podcast appearance released on Saturday. They're real, but I haven't seen them. So even apparently, because 47 comes out and says he released classified information. So by simple Occam's razor, because he said so few words, I watched the video. He really didn't say very much, and it's exasperating that the host didn't really follow up with any other questions either. Like, man, would you please just ask him more questions and try to find out, like, what the hell is he implying here? But simply saying they are real apparently was a disclosure of classified information. That's a classified piece of knowledge, and he wanted to come out and be first. So there he went and saying it all out there in the open. It's freaking stunning, man. I mean, I can't even believe all this is happening, to be quite honest with you. It's beyond my wildest dreams that we're getting to this point now and that we've gotten here. So they're real, but I haven't seen them, he told YouTuber Brian Tyler Cowan after being asked about ETs. He says they're not being kept in Area 51. There is no underground facility unless there is an enormous conspiracy that they hid from the President of the United States. Well, obviously the answer is yes, there is an enormous conspiracy. Yes, they have hidden it from the President of the United States. And how crazy is that, right? So, again, I'm so excited, you guys, and thank you all for being here. We've now crossed the line of 4,000 people. Let's keep those donations coming in too. We need those as well. And I'm happy for everybody who wants to help us. What if we all have extraterrestrial DNA? Well, I believe we do, as I said earlier. I think that's a big, big part of this. Keep going, David. We believe in you. So, Cowan, right, that's right. We talked about that before, that a Cowan is somebody who goes against the teachings of the Masonic group, you know, that he's betraying them. So that's a very strange thing, that the name of Masonic betrayal it's differently spelled, C-O-E-N versus C-O-A-N, but still, that's a big part of it, which again, I pointed out last week. And, you know, let's try to be clear on what's going on here. So anyway, it's a good time to be alive, and I'm happy. We don't want trolls, so let's please try to be yeah. I mean, please don't say the keywords here. That's actually a very you know, tasteless comment, so I'll take care of that one too. Anyway, actually, now that we know, okay, I got it. Hold on. There we go. That's good enough. All right, so, you know, you can find them pretty easily when you find out what people are saying. So this ended up being considered classified, an enormous conspiracy that was hidden from the President of the United States, that they are real and there's underground facilities. Well, yeah, they are in Area 51. We know that. We've definitely had people saying that, you know, this is what's going on. And so again, this was a very stunning piece of disclosure. We got 4,000 people watching. Thank you guys very, very much. This is not the first time that Obama has commented on the existence of UFOs and, again, tongue-in-cheek little green men. There are some that are green, but most of them are not. When it comes to extraterrestrials, there are some things I just can't tell you on the air. He teased on the Late Late Show to the host James Corden in an interview from 2021. Well, this is where we were, and he said this again on Valentine's Day. So we had a donation from Inner Strength Hypnosis. The time soon approaches. Thank you, David. All right. And again, wow, just how cool it is that we got to this point where as of Thursday, this past Thursday, somebody asks 47 about this, and he says that he leaked classified information. That was the big tease before he actually made the announcement. So I guess I wasn't on. I was sorry. I should have been on the slide. I wasn't. Yeah, my eyes were down looking at the slide, but I wasn't on it. So there we go. We can see right here, 47 accuses him of disclosing classified information in his recent viral remarks about the existence of extraterrestrials. Interest in UFOs, now referred to as unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP, has been renewed in recent years as the U.S. government probed numerous reports of seemingly supernatural aircraft, amid worries that adversaries could be testing highly advanced technologies. Yes, we've had all these drone sightings. We've had all this stuff going on. And it is really, really something. So thank you for the moderators, absolutely. Why is it so important to see extraterrestrials? I don't know. It's only like the whole entire nature of our reality changes at that moment. I mean, think about it. It's a very, very significant paradigm shift when we find out we're not alone. Yay, here we go. Cosmic Dreamer donated $100, making it big, bright red. As you can see right there. Thank you so much for that. It's been a long journey since 2012 Enigma, huh, bro? Much love, brother. Thank you, Cosmic Dreamer, whatever the name is. But anyway, I really appreciate that. And that is awesome. You're helping us get to enough donations that this becomes survivable for me to do this and, again, support my habit of eating. $100 can go a long way. You can buy a lot of good things with that. So I really appreciate it. We're up to 4,217 concurrent viewers. We're doing much better than usual, so I'm really glad ETs want the Earth intact and there will be no mass destruction. That's right. What happened to your Stratocaster guitar? It's still there. You can see it right here behind me, just the neck. And again, in shot number 3, it's right over here. But, you know, so it's there. It's there. Just, you know, don't lose faith in me, you guys. Dreams are coming true. This is Beverly Adams. You're absolutely right. So, again, he accused him of disclosing classified information. And so Emily says the UFOs are at S4, not Area 51, according to Bob Lazar. So Obama is technically correct. Remember, they wanted H to be the disclosure president. They never thought she was going to lose. Well, S4 and Area 51 are kind of like birds of the feather. They might even be terms for the same thing, depending on who you talk to. There is an area where they were testing nuclear weapons. It's called Area 51. So S4, the name of the facility, is within that area. That's right. Smash the like button now that we're up to 4,100 views. Thank you guys very much for being here, by the way. I really, really appreciate it. This is awesome. I got a huge crowd today. I love it. So, again, what did he actually say here? Well, here's the first thing. This is where he was interviewed, and he says he's not supposed to be doing that. He gave a big mistake giving out classified information. Wow. That was pretty stunning. Here's another post on it that we saw. Where it says, and they're both like pointing the same way. It's pretty funny. He gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He says aboard Air Force One. So again, this is what was the classified information? Well, let's review. What did he actually say? They are real, but I haven't seen them. They're not being kept in Area 51. There's no underground facility unless there's an enormous conspiracy that is being hidden from the President of the United States. So that's all that he said. So something in here actually is considered to be classified. Something in there that we just read is considered to be classified. And that really is shocking to me because, again, look at there's not a lot of meat on the bone here. They're real, but I haven't seen them. Okay, well, so then them being real would be classified. And the enormous conspiracy hidden from the President of the United States would probably be the other thing, because we've all heard that Area 51 is, that there are definitely underground facilities. We know there's underground facilities. I mean, some of them are openly acknowledged. So, you know, that doesn't really fit. And, you know, that wouldn't be considered classified either. So anyway, it's really, really exciting, right? Like, wow. So this is where it shows up. We're going to read this for you. So, asked about the comments, he told reporters that he gave out classified information and he's not supposed to be doing that. So this is like a tit-for-tat war between them. Very interesting. He did not specify what part of the remarks were classified, but claimed that in the process he made a big mistake. Well, sure enough, he's out there immediately. Obama goes out there and walks it back right away. He does not want to be associated with the big mistake. And that happened right away. So that's very interesting as well. For his own beliefs about extraterrestrials, he says, I don't know if they are real or not. But then he immediately contradicts that, and what happens later, that he's going to reveal everything we know. Maybe he didn't contradict it, but we're going to find out the truth. So he made a big mistake. Well, why is that a big mistake? Why is it a big mistake to say that extraterrestrials are real? I don't know. And it's pretty exciting. And we'll figure out what's going on here. But anyway, that's all good. So happy about what's happening, happy about my life, happy about you guys, happy that you're here with me. So anyway, it's good. You know, we're happy to be here with everybody today. So he then went on to Instagram to clarify his position and recanted the claim that he just made before. This is what he actually said. Statistically, the universe is so vast that the odds are good that there's life out there. Okay, granted. But the distances between solar systems are so great that the chances we've been visited by ETs is low, and I saw no evidence during my presidency that ETs have made contact with us. Really? Well, that's pretty direct. I mean, he definitely walked it back. He definitely wanted to get back from where he was. He wanted to change everything. And, that's definitely something that we, need to be careful about here. So let's see what we got here. Thank you. Thank you for the moderators. Yeah, so sometimes people just try to come in, mess things up. Anyway, he saw no evidence during his presidency that ETs have made contact with us. Really? Well, I actually think that's probably not true. I think that he had to, he's got to walk back his classified statements. We had some very specific information that we're going to get into a little later here about what he might have encountered and where did that come from. And so it's pretty cool stuff, actually, when you see how all these pieces and how all the dots connect, how all these elements come together to build up into disclosure. Okay, so next thing is that with the very same day that he said he gave away classified information, he's not supposed to be doing that, other announcements start tumbling out. And the first one comes from Lara, who is his daughter-in-law, and she spills the beans that he has a disclosure speech ready to deliver. He might be the only guy willing to do something that crazy. So this actually came out the day before he warned about the classified information. Wednesday is when it first surfaced, and she says he has a speech ready to go. And so you might not have seen this one, but this was during the Podforce One podcast for the New York Post. And Shadow covered it right here, as you can see, where he says that she suggests that he is ready to make an announcement to the world about the existence of extraterrestrials, with his script already having been prepared for the right time. She says he's going to talk about some sort of extraterrestrial life. I don't know when the right time is. So this is so exciting that we're actually going to get really forensic with it. We're going to break it down exactly what she said word for word, because this triggered the announcement the very next day. And it's so thrilling how this all happened. So we'll transcribe it here. The host asked her, do you think that he's about to make an announcement regarding UFOs? Because President Obama was just on a podcast talking about how he believes in UFOs and hinting that he saw something when he was president, before he recanted it, right? Well, I said this in my podcast too, she answered. What's funny is we've kind of asked my father-in-law about this because we're like, well, what do you know? Because Miranda, we all want to know about the UFOs, or we all want to know what's going on. And he played a little coy with us. Interesting, right? He wasn't totally forthcoming. That, of course, led us to believe, Eric and I were like, oh my gosh, if he won't even fully tell us, then maybe there's more to it. And then I've just kind of heard around that. And then I've just kind of heard around that. Oh, okay. And then I have just heard kind of around that. I think he's actually said it. I think my father-in-law has actually said that there is some speech that he has. I guess at the right time, and I don't know when that right time is, he's going to break out that speech and talk about it. And it has to do with maybe some sort of extraterrestrial life, so to speak. Holy crap. I mean, so that's what built this up. And again, you may not like him. Some people don't. Okay, we have a very divided electorate here, but this is a big gift for all of us. If we actually get a disclosure that is just so exciting, it's monumental, it really opens up the doors to so many things. It's going to change my life. It's going to change your life in ways we can't even anticipate, man. We don't even know where this is going. And it's just so thrilling. So let's see what we got here. Okay. So I'm very happy that this is happening because, let's be clear that this is a very, very big thing. And so the daughter-in-law is coming out and saying, at the right time, he's going to break out a speech and talk about it. Same piece of evidence that we already had from Mark Christopher Lee being leaked independently. Wow. But it gets better. Wait a minute, it gets better. Where we have Oh, this is David Grush. They talk about this in the same article on ZH, that in July 2023, the former military intelligence officer David Grush told lawmakers under oath that he was informed in the course of his official duties that there is a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program to which he was denied access. He did this in Congress, in the House of Representatives in July 2023, that they actually reverse engineering the craft, which means, yes, we have the technologies, we have the med beds, we have the anti-gravity, we have the free energy. It's not going to be very long that they'll be able to suppress that stuff once people know that it's true. And again, this is why Stavati Aerospace, this is our SM-39. It's got a lot of advanced crossover technology in it to help it to go Mach 4. And, we've now started a new Reg D 506D offering for fundraising. We're doing great. Things are going very well for us. So what we've got here is the opportunity through this company, which also does, again, make those kinds of technologies, that we can break out some of this stuff into the mainstream, like hover cars. We have hover car designs ready to go. We can take that Navy patent from Salvatore Pais and bring it out there and start to build machines that actually levitate. I want that. And if nobody else is going to do it, then we'll do it ourselves. That's always been my attitude about this. It's taken a lot longer for us to get going than I'd hoped, but the point is we're working on it. I put everything I have into this, and I really hope it's going to work out for us, and I think it will. That's right. Johnny says, David, thank you for your time, effort, and energy. You are loved by many. Go Stavati. Thank you very much. So, anyway, I don't have handlers. I handle my own business. Nobody's telling me what to say or not to say. That is not true. So David Grush further alleged that the government had retrieved what he called non-human biologics from recovered craft, citing accounts from dozens of witnesses he interviewed over 4 years, and there's a number of them. So this was what they were already saying in this article on ZH, led up to all this cool stuff, because on the very same day that they published this story about Lara, saying that she'd heard that he has a speech prepared and he's going to come forward with it, which is now 2 different sources saying he's going to do this, on the very same day, we get the official disclosure announcement. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. Praise God. 47 orders the release of all UFO-related files. And there it is. I could not believe it. My friend told me on the phone. I was talking to my friend on the phone, and it's like, he saw it flash by on his screen. I said, that can't be true. And then it disappeared. It was like it showed up and then it disappeared. And I'm like, well, you see, because it probably was some kind of clickbait. It couldn't really be real. We're not going to get any actual disclosure. That never seems to happen. So here we go. You got to give you a little time out there, buddy. Oh, she already did it. Anyway. So yeah, please don't use those keywords I've already said. It's not going to help us out. And it's just it's so exciting. Let's just talk about how exciting it is. This is the big moment. He said, based on the tremendous interest that is shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies, and this is the real key word here, to begin the process. It's not saying, the message doesn't say that it's all going to happen at once. It doesn't say that we're going to get everything. And again, you got to remember that this probably did have lawyers involved in the wording. It probably didn't just come out spontaneously, that there was, somebody behind this making sure that it's worded right. So we're beginning, not ending, but beginning the process of identifying and releasing government files related to extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena. Here we go. Identifying and releasing government files related to ET life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects. So hopefully in time, we'll get all the files. And we don't know how many there are going to be, but we've already been told, so don't freak out. There's already definitely going to be some good stuff. And any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. Wow. So again, I want to go through this again on text. We're going to break it down a little bit more because this is it. So we're going to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files. Well, this is within the same week, pretty much the same week that the report was just made about other files that were released. So that's also interesting timing too. The fact that disclosure is happening on these two parallel tracks where files are being released, information is coming to a head. Salty Light, you raised a very, very good question. And that is 47 getting ahead of an ET scare event? He might very well be. And thank you, Gene Novacek. You're absolutely right on that one. Weren't all those files kept in the Navy's office in the Pentagon? Well, I don't know. That's a possibility, but the point is, yes, God bless America, his flying sparrow. This is very, very exciting, and I just think that we're all being led through a very novel process it's going to blow the doors off of everything. Identifying and releasing these files is obviously huge. And so the more that we know, again, there's going to be people who don't want to believe it. I think that's inevitable. There's going to be a lot of people that say, oh, this is BS. But it also could very well be videos. Remember, one of the things that these insiders have told us when we watch certain movies and certain, like Age of Disclosure and then some of the witnesses that have been in there, they say that we have very intense videos that haven't come out yet. And those videos have some very powerful stuff that go way beyond what we've seen. Now, I thought about the AI component, right? The fact that with the AI, anything can be made now, and it can look so real that you don't know the difference. So is anybody going to believe these videos? Well, if they're forensically dated and if we're told that it's real, I think it will at least be a good thing for a lot of people. But the AI gives us a way for plausible deniability too. They can release these videos and the people who don't want to believe it are just going to say, oh, they just made that in AI. So that could be part of what happens to us. That could be part of the disclosure that we get. We're definitely told to expect videos. We've already seen some of them, the Tic Tac video, these flying spaghetti monster, flying brains kind of monster, that kind of thing. Scary, stupid, strange. Thank you for the donation. So, wow, it's a very, very thrilling situation, knowing that this is all real, knowing where this is going, knowing how this is going to happen. There's videos that people have seen things. That's absolutely right. So I'm really thrilled, man. All I can say is bring it on. We are ready. We are not alone in the universe. We're ready to handle the truth. We're ready to take that to the next level. Let's do this, man. Let's do disclosure. Let's get it done. So we're going to identify and release government files. There might also be videos, as I just said, that, and it's pretty brilliant. So, we want to get right with our own creator, right with our maker, because this is ascension. This is all of the stuff that we were told by positive good guy ETs. Magusta YouTube also just donated. Thank you very, very much. Celebrating your 5th super chat. Let's keep those coming. We need more to get up to our normal goals. And I hope we can do that because we have certain goals we like to hit for each show. And we're getting there, but we got more to go. So, and he says any and all other information. That would include videos connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. Any and all other information. So that's going to be whistleblower testimony. That's going to be recovered material, recovered hardware. I was told by Pete Peterson that in the future, once we get disclosure, that they're going to do something like a World's Fair. Remember, the World's Fair is where they would have this touring event, and you could go see it, and it would have some really cool stuff there, including really beautiful fake buildings. That buildings were made with facades, but they looked like ancient Roman Greek buildings, which now is part of this whole Tartaria thing that I don't really get into. I don't think there's a lot of truth to that stuff. I think it's basically just coming out of the community. People ask me about that sometimes. Jules West and Richie, thank you for the donations. I really appreciate that. Richie celebrating his 3rd super chat. God bless America. So any and all other information. It happened on the day before the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. It's about exposing cover-ups, new directions for society, spirituality, blending all these influences together. Who could have imagined, right in the middle of all this extreme solar activity going on, that we get this incredible announcement, this incredible disclosure announcement? It is so cool. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for what you did there. I am deeply grateful, and I'm so honored to be just another one of your constituents on Earth. We respect you greatly. We're very glad that you've decided to do this and take the risks of ridicule, whatever else people are going to throw at you, because I know what that feels like, believe me. And he often wouldn't say anything about it before. I don't believe in that. So he stepped up and he made this happen, and it's really, really cool. It's a game changer. And again, we got 4,000 people watching consistently here, so our numbers are up. It's awesome for me, of course, see this happening. So thank you guys all for being here. It's really great to have you. And so then a bunch of posts came out. This is, again, the insider one. He will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant agencies to begin, there it is again, the process of identifying and releasing these files. And so freaking exciting. And there on the right is your traditional flying saucer shape, which again is the same thing that we saw in the Fatima event. That one apparently is the good guys. That when you see that type of a flying saucer, where it's got the dome on top and it's got the disc, those are the good guys. And I'll show you again the miracle of the snow painting a little bit later, how far back in history this goes. These beings have been here forever. Nothing new about this. Then they made yet another post. He said on Thursday he is ordering federal agencies to begin identifying and releasing these files, a potentially dramatic move sought for decades by some Americans. And again, I'm just so thrilled about this. The whole fact that this is finally happening. It is something I have waited for like you cannot believe. It has been a passion of mine my entire life. I'm just so excited. I can't even tell you. Now, that being said, what are we going to get? How much are we going to get? And when is it going to happen? How long is it going to take? I really do not expect that this is going to be the be-all and end-all within just a few minutes, where like we just get this huge disclosure of files and it's like millions and millions of files, and there's so many things that are mind-blowing that we're going on. I mean, it'll probably be fairly large. Let's hope it is, because they may say we don't really have anything. I mean, these projects are so compartmented that I don't think they're keeping documents, and they're certainly not going to want to share them. Most of what we would call the legacy program, it is broken away, and you're not going to be able to get your hands on those documents. So we got to be prepared that it might not be as good as we'd really love it to be, but it should be something. It should at least be something. Oh, wow. We had another big donation here. I didn't see that one coming in. Thank you so much. This is David Nelson. I don't recall him doing that before, but he donated $100. He says, David, thank you for all the content over the years. Keep up the great work. Thank you, David Nelson. And throwing some comedy about Ashton Forbes. He's not a reverend. He doesn't have a church. Yes, the thick white. Okay, J. Bob. I get what you're saying. I did see the thick white ET video. It was funny. Anyway, thank you for the donation, J. Bo. Do you believe that David, everyone on earth will speak the same language at one time, like Nimrod's tower? Well, it's possible that this will be, something that really, anyway. I think we can safely do that. You guys are trying to get me in trouble by writing keywords that doesn't really fly well with me. Keywords are not welcomed. So, anyway, what I was told by my own insiders, again, briefings told me that this could take a long time. I was actually told that there was a 10-year plan about getting us all the information from, I believe, elements within the legacy program. They don't want to give this to us all at once because, again, the ontological shock would be too great. Learning all this stuff at once would be too... I hope it doesn't take 10 years, though. I mean, that would be way too long for me. I mean, I'm impatient. I'd like it to happen a little faster than that. But who knows what's going to happen. I'm just telling you, he did say we will begin the process of disclosure. So don't expect that you're going to get everything you've ever dreamed of and wanted all at once. That's very unlikely. But we still want to have life move forward in a positive way. And so, anyway, I don't know if we really need to moderate that one so much. But yeah, Tartaria, I just don't believe in any of that stuff. I just think it's a big, big psyop, just like the flat Earth thing. You know, so, oh my God, David, the Earth is flat. What do you mean? No, there's so much evidence that it's not flat that I just can't get into that one either. Sorry. I think these are things that are deliberately intended to get us down rabbit holes that are not real, so that people get off on the wrong track. Thank you again very much to whoever it was that did that donation there. And that was, what's his name again? Let's see. Oh, David Nelson. That's right. I got to remember your name because I want to thank you again, David. You know, anybody who does a big donation like that, it's awesome. It helps us out a lot. So I really hope it doesn't take 10 years, but that is what we heard. And, you know, I think that political and legal pressure might be able to speed this up, but we don't really know. The important point is that it happened. We got here. We are here today. Disclosure has been announced. The files are coming. Is it going to stop the trolls from saying I'm a grifter? No. Is it going to stop them from saying this is fake? No. They're never going to be happy. They're never going to be convinced. They're just trying to win you over, make you think this is all BS, but it didn't happen before Thursday. The day before the big Saturn-Neptune conjunction, right there on February 19th, boom, society has changed forever. Quantum possibilities, thank you for the donation. It's incredible. And again, this has incredible spiritual implications. This is going to be something that just changes everything about what we know, everything about what we believe, everything about who we are, and our relationship to the cosmos, man. This is a whole new phase of our existence, and I really do believe, again, the spiritual implications are just absolutely incredible. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. It's just so exciting. Athena Van Wardenberg says, David, thank you for all you do. Exciting times for extraterrestrial revelations. We have been waiting so long for this. Yes, we have. It is very, very cool. And I just am very excited about everything that's going on in the world. It's like, man, I mean, yes, we've got this threat of the possibility of something happening with Iran. There may be a deal coming in. The headlines have showed up for there. So let's hope, again, we got the biggest buildup there since the Gulf War. That's a big thing. Let's hope that works out okay. It still could. I'm still hopeful. There was some stuff circulating on social media. Oh, they're going to use nukes and they're going to nuke them. Try not to get sucked in by that. I saw probably 7 iterations of that on my feed. I'm like, I just don't think that they would take that step because that really does put us over into Pandora's box. I just don't believe they'd be that reckless or that careless. And so, you know, not buying it at all. Yep, Tartaria stuff is to be fully neglected and ignored. You're right about that, buddy. That's my opinion too. Thank you. A lot of people are about to owe me an apology. Well, don't look at it as a punitive thing where you want people to be in trouble for the fact that you didn't agree with them and they didn't agree with you. Let's just try to be, you know, helpful to each other. So Master Kenobi donated. He says, let's not forget, anti-gravity technology also enables time travel, and we will be understanding the implications of this. Exciting times. Namaste. That's right. So I thought Tartaria was a sauce that goes on fish. Whack, whack. Anyway, yes, anti-gravity does enable time travel, and we can't have time travel right away. In fact, the reason why I was told that it was going to take 10 years for all of this to emerge is precisely because you can't give humanity time travel right now. We can't be given this type of stuff. It would be very nasty to what would happen if we had this. Oh, somebody wants Angry Daddy. So, son, I know for a fact that if you got a time machine, you think you're just going to go back in time and fix all the mistakes that you made while you were my son that caused me to have to yell at you over and over and over again. For the love of God, you cannot go back and fix those mistakes, boy. I'm here to tell you here today as I gently crank back the lever in my lazy boy chair that I have had it, and you have to live with the mistakes you made, son. You have to grow up. You have to go out there and you have to get a real job, because whatever you're doing here on YouTube, this just doesn't work for me, son. And I have had it. That's right. He has had it. There we go. And you see all the laughter emojis come in. Somebody said, oh, Angry Daddy is not funny. Well, if he wasn't funny, you wouldn't see all this stuff. Enormous amount of laughter. People really like that. Anyway, yes. Angry Daddy has had it. He's had a bad day. Get a real job. That's right. Actually, he gently cranked the lazy... Yeah, it sounds... That's... You know what I'm talking about. It's a chair. Anyway, it could be misconstrued, but that's what the comment moderation was thinking. So, anyway, good stuff. And I'm happy to be here with you. Let's bring out some Angry Daddy once in a while. We got to get him in the house. He needs to be heard. He's got his own reasons to be angry, and who can prevent them from occasionally showing up, man? You just can't. You got to let it happen. He needs his own voice. So again, political and legal pressure might speed up the timeline on this stuff. That's entirely possible. And it has incredible spiritual implications. I mean, once we get the truth, once we actually get disclosure, it is such a big change in everything. Jabo Philippe donated. And again, the MH370 videos, I'm not worried about nukes. We have magic orbs that can wormhole them back to the crazies that sent them. As long as they don't want it to happen, it should be fine. I hope you're right. I mean, I think even the ETs are going to prevent nuclear war as well, and they have for a long time. So I don't really think that we have anything to worry about. But of course, we want to just be careful, and we want to, take stock of who we are and what we've got. And, anyway, that's fine with me. So, what about cigarettes, ham, bacon, and fireworks? Yes, indeed. Ham, fireworks, cigarettes, and bacon. Yoo-wee! Thank y'all for coming out today. This is your Texas friend here. This is the cowboy telling you, go on back, get your cigarettes, ham, fireworks, and bacon. Woo! Thank you, Lord Jesus. All right. Yes, indeed. Why is Daddy angry? Well, because too many people have betrayed him. And anyway, you moderators can handle all this stuff, but yep, thank you. Angry Daddy, you're scaring me. Calm down, she says. Well, that's okay. Anyway, go cowboy. And we got some people laughing. Yeehaw! So, the spiritual implications of disclosure are so vast because, again, we've got ancient monuments, we got pyramids, we got stoneworks all over the world. What if they're using local materials? They came from somewhere else. They came here. They built this stuff for our benefit, to awaken us to the greater reality that we live in. That's super exciting. And, I'm just thrilled to be alive, and we got a lot more for you, so let's hang in there, everybody. This is really something. 5 major Greece groups, that's right. So there is no turning back once we get to this point on a mass social level. Everyone is going to undergo some form of awakening. This is going to be a paradigm-shifting event when we get the files to come out, when those disclosure files start to emerge. There's probably going to be videos, too. We've heard that there's going to be some really exciting stuff. So everybody is going to benefit from this in ways we can barely even imagine. Now, we did read in earlier weeks that there was threats that the economy might go down. So it is possible that the negative side could end up doing big sell-offs and trying to use this as an excuse to create collapse, to try to make people afraid. But we're not going to buy into that. I really don't think that there's going to be that much disaster that comes out of this. I think it's actually going to be very positive. So again, the scope of what this is going to do for religion, the scope of what this is going to do for spirituality, the scope of what this is going to do for the human being just as any one person, their imagination, their realization that they are part of a greater cosmic family, that we are not alone in the universe. I think, if anything, it should make us more appreciative of our planet, should make us more protective of our planet, that we have all this great stuff going on to look forward to. And we may even get a galactic family reunion. I mean, that's a big part of what I've heard over the years. And so naturally, this announcement on Thursday, right during the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, was of titanic significance. And I don't mean the sinking of the Titanic, I just mean very large significance. We've had a huge number of posts blowing up on social media just since this happened. And so I'm going to read some of the highlights. And I grabbed all these yesterday. That's why it says X number of hours. All of these impressions were just taken yesterday. It took a couple days for all the stuff to come out, but it definitely did. Stephen Brixey, thank you. He donated $88.88. That's an awesome Lionsgate number. It's so exciting to graduate into our new cosmic classroom. Disclosure has been ongoing since the birth of humanity. It's about time the government finally acts towards the will of the people, soon to be we of humanity. You're absolutely right. Neela Zerker donated as well. Thank you very much. And we are doing great here. Oh, and I missed another one. Lance Taylor. Sorry I didn't catch you right off the bat there, but we got it. He donated $200. And that really does help us greatly. So thank you very much. Andrea and I will always support the work you have done over the years. We've really enjoyed all your books. You have opened our eyes and hearts for many years. Thank you. Thank you, Lance Taylor. That is an awesome gift, and I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you like the work that we're doing so much. Our 2012 journey says, I'm an Aries and Capricorn. Something epic is coming in my life this year. That's right. Well, the conjunction happened right in Aries, and you've got those Moon, Mars, Mercury all in Aries, so that's pretty cool. I would agree. I mean, look, there's so many things to be grateful about. There's so many things to look forward to. This is such an exciting time to be alive. Such an exciting time to get out there and do the work that I'm doing. And we have a launch that we're working on, product that you guys will be able to have. I'm already in discussion about that. This affects that too. I mean, like, maybe our launch is going to do a lot better as we have more people aware that the truth is out there. It's anybody in my business, obviously, this is going to help us. So I'm very, very grateful for that. We can't sit back as individuals. We must work together. Yes, I totally agree. That's why please help me by donations and supporting our product. By the way, we did fix the donation link on my website. So we now know that that link is up and running again. It should be functional. And I'm very grateful for anybody who wants to donate however you choose to do it. Oh, I missed a $200 donation. Was there another one that I didn't see? Let's see. No, I think I did get it, but you're just a little bit behind in terms of when you're hearing the show and how that all goes down. So, anyway, we have a lot going on. There's a lot happening in the universe, and there's a lot happening on social media. So let's start to read some of these because they really give depth and dimensionality to the story that I think is pretty darn context significant. So, first one is that already we have insiders pushing back. This is, again, Mark Christopher Lee. That's the same guy who was telling us that, he calling himself the king of UFOs, and he's saying that, that's his name, that's his handle. Look at it right there. Saying that, he was the one that told us that 47 was going to make an announcement, that it might happen first around the UN General Assembly meeting, and then later it was scheduled for sometime in July, around the Roswell crash anniversary, July the 8th or whatever. Okay. Now, his same insider source, so he claims, and again, we don't know if this guy is real or not, but it's interesting, worth considering, that there is now a big, big pushback, that this was a surprise announcement. It pissed people off. They didn't want this to happen, and they're pushing back. Interdimensional demonic links, full details. Here we go. So this is what he had to say. Urgent update from Mark Christopher Lee, February 21st, 2026. My Washington insider source has just updated me following the directive to release all extraterrestrial and UFO files. He says that there is massive pushback inside the administration itself and within parts of the Pentagon. Why? Because some believe the UFO phenomenon is linked, that's right, to demons. As we've been saying all along, that there are negative forces involved in this and should be left alone. They're terrified to tell the public. How would the people react if they were told this? Especially evangelicals waiting for the second coming, end times, and rapture, because this could be seen as biblical prophecy unfolding. God forbid that we validate people's faith and make them feel good, right? Well, you know that I believe that ascension is real, that it's an intrinsic part of what we're going to get from disclosure, and I'm certainly in full support of it. I want this to happen. I'm excited about this happening. And Paula Mignon, do you still speak with Nino's Corner? Yeah, he's asked me to be on. I've just had some reasons not to do. Yeah, I've just been so busy. I mean, honestly, like my life is very distracting. And I wish I could do more with other people. I just haven't been able to. But I fully support Nino and I fully support James Gilliland, either one of them. So yes, interesting that they don't want to validate biblical prophecy, right? Well, I think it is. And you know, 47 decided he's going to make the announcement anyway. His source says there is evidence that some UAPs are interdimensional rather than extraterrestrial, and that may be why he called the matters complex. July 8th, 2026 speech, 79th anniversary of Roswell, is still planned, so this source says, to confirm visitation and recovered evidence, but it will likely stick to more conventional UFO sightings in Roswell. The truly weird interdimensional aspects won't be released to the public just yet. I told you that it's probably going to take a long time, as we've heard. Planet Shalom donated. Thank you very much. Looks like we got a lot of trolls popping up, but the moderators are on top of it here. So I want to thank you guys for that. Let's just do a little... Anyway, thank you guys very much for all your help and for all the donations. It's really great. The truly weird interdimensional aspect won't be released to the public just yet. This ties directly into my 2024 film where I explored the idea that UFOs could be demonic or interdimensional. That film brought me to the attention of evangelical Christians in the U.S., sources inside Washington, also covering the alleged Collins elite, a secret group said to control the UFO agenda and insist that the demonic origins must be hidden from the public. What my source is reporting now validates everything I investigated. Yep. So again, are we going to get the demonic stuff right away? Probably not. I think that's too disturbing and it's going to have to come in waves. People have to learn this over time, and you got to do it in a way where people feel safe. I trust the administration. I think that in this case, they're going to be able to do it in a way that doesn't create undue panic. They've been very, very skillful, if you think about it. All these things that have popped up that we were really scared about, and we seem to just kind of navigate through them in a way that isn't as bad as it looks like it's going to be. And, you know, find out what's real, what's not real, how's this all going to go. The resistance is real, but the truth is unstoppable. My source is still set to come forward at the formal press conference on May 1st, 2026 in Washington, D.C. Okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, again, maybe he's making it all up. That certainly could be something he could have lied about, but, you know, I hope it's true because I'd love to see the truth come out, and we might be getting some of that now. So this is really, really where my bread and butter comes from. I love this stuff. The momentum is building. Disclosure is happening faster than anyone predicted. Stay tuned. Yes, I agree completely. Now, this is another interesting thing because we have on the other side of things, Elizondo. He was in the Age of Disclosure film. He was part of the Tom DeLonge initiative. And my own personal belief is that he, as he said, he's worked for the intelligence community, and they probably are not going to be fully forthcoming with the things that he said. Now, I respect him greatly, and I think he's got a great message. At the same time, he's certainly not going to go out on a limb and say all the kind of things that I say. There's very big discrepancies. And remember that they refer to it as a threat. The Advanced Alien Threat Identification Program, or AATIP. So, again, I don't like infighting, but I just feel that if he's going to tell us that this is Pandora's box, it's probably because this caught them off guard. They got pissed off. The intelligence people are like, man, we don't want this. That's what Mark Christopher Lee was just saying. So he comes out and makes a public statement to that same effect. Angie just donated. Thank you very much. Let's make sure I didn't miss one. And we also have Laura, who just donated as well. Laura Vandenbosch, thank you very much for that. He's warning it's Pandora's box. What does he really mean by that? In this explosive News Nation clip on Cuomo, Lewis drops the warning. His promised UFO disclosure is a potential Pandora's box. He explains that opening it could unleash consequences we are not ready for, rewriting reality, shaking society, and more. Well, again, I think whether he is, the voice of the intelligence community here or not, that the intelligence community would want you to feel this way. They don't want this to come out. They don't want full disclosure. They're not interested in having you learn the truth about this stuff because it's upsetting the existing power structure that they would like to maintain. They don't get to hold on to everything the way that it would. Okay, we had a $100 donation, so we're doing really great. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Julia in Georgia. People are being told the Star of David is actually the star of Remphan, which is bad but has 8 points. Same people have no idea the 6-point star is actually the shape of the photon, amplitude hedron. Why do the bad guys always have to co-opt sacred symbols? Well, again, 8-pointed star is very different than a 6-pointed star, so I haven't heard that. But again, there's a lot of anti-Semitism out there. I do not support anti-Semitism at all. I have my Jewish friend Jude, and he is a great ally. And again, it was very interesting when we had that weekly reading from the Torah that all the Jews are doing around the world. And at the same time, maybe it was Talmudic, I forget which one, but same time, it was correlating with the end of the war and the final phase coming into view. And then the final phase comes in on winds. The plague of locusts came in on winds. These other things came in on winds. The parting of the Red Sea was done by wind. And we had a wind event affecting the American people through this massive winter storm system that was going on. So that was really cool. Is he okay? Yeah, he's fine. I grew up in a very integrated town where we had black people, we had Jewish people, and nobody had any problems with each other, nothing significant at least. So I don't understand why people have to do that, but it's okay. Our victory is guaranteed, says Radar O'Donnell. The evil trying to control the world can't even control their own. So I would say that's true. Is he about to trigger the biggest truth bomb in human history or something far more dangerous? Well, again, what's wrong with rewriting reality and shaking society? What's wrong with a little bit of disruption? We've been through wars. We've been through world wars. We've been through nuclear explosions. Things have happened, natural disasters. I think we can handle disclosure. I think that even if it does upset people, that there will be ways that we can navigate this and we can get into a good place as a human species. And I'm just glad that we're able to do that. So is he about to trigger the biggest truth bomb in human history or something far more dangerous? No, I think it's going to be fine. And I wouldn't call it a bomb either. Do you want full UFO disclosure right now, or are you scared of what will come out of the box? Would it change everything better or worse? Drop your honest thoughts below. And again, even channels like this are potentially bot-oriented channels. It always makes me suspicious when the channel never has a person associated with it. They never have an identity. They don't come out with their name. They don't come out selling anything. They don't have products. They don't want to, sell a book or go to conferences or do anything. So you got to really wonder what's going on. Jabo says anti-Semites are nuts, best to ignore them. I agree. Thank you very much for that. And thank you for the donations. We're really starting to kick some butt here. And this is doing really well. So let's keep them coming. You guys are awesome, and I really love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And again, we did fix the link on my website too, so if you want to drop that at some point, it should work now. I got the guy in there, and we got it done. So anyway, not everyone... Okay, we got that. So this was the post, and I don't think it's Pandora's box. I think we're going to be fine, but he's trying to make you worry about it. And then here's the next one: does Rubio know more than the President of the United States? Well, this is an interesting question. James Fox, UFO director, next time Ducey has the chance to ask another UAP question to the president, ask him if the Secretary Rubio knows more than he does. As Rubio stated in the movie, that presidents are primarily being kept in the dark when it comes to UFOs, particularly with the legacy crash retrieval program. I mean, it's a provocative question, but it's definitely something that, we would like to hear the answer to. So yes, that's an interesting one. So many comments have been coming up on the feed about this now. It's really wild. And then the next one here is Representative Gates, and that he was briefed on the fact that ETs are already on Earth and they already have bases here. So even before, we're getting through the first wave, the first drip of disclosure, the very, very initial phase of this whole thing, it's probably going to get very complex and very intricate. We're already being told right up front that yes, they have bases here on this planet. Man, that's a big one. That's going to rattle the world in ways we can't even anticipate. So anyway, exciting, right? I mean, these are very cool things, and we want to, maybe not, right? Like some people will be, oh my God, what do you mean it's cool? Well, if they're the good guys, if the good guys are here, then they're protecting us, and they're going to make sure that we don't blow up the planet. They're going to make sure that we don't destroy everything. And therefore, yeah, I don't think that if they're all evil, if the only ETs that we had were evil, then maybe bases would be a bad thing. But I'm not saying that they're evil. I think it's predominantly a benevolent phenomenon. But the negative is an important part of this that we still need to learn about. So anyway, let's just check that one. Okay. So he's briefed on extraterrestrial bases on Earth. What does that actually mean? This is from Shadow. He says he's ordering the government to fully release files on aliens, extraterrestrial life, and UFOs. Matt Gaetz has claimed that some members of Congress, which would probably include Representative Tim Burchett, he's the one that's been talking about this the most, believe that extraterrestrials have already established bases on Earth. We're going to hear about that more. He thinks there's at least 5 of them and are actively operating from them. Yeah, I think it's actually a lot more than 5 based on what my insiders have told me. He adds that he has spoken with U.S. military personnel who believe hybrid breeding programs are currently underway. That's right. So humans being bred with extraterrestrials, the DNA leading to children that are part human and part extraterrestrial human. Wow. I mean, these are very, very stunning revelations. This is not just your everyday disclosure. This is big, big stuff that we're seeing coming into view for our immediate future. If they've already got bases on Earth, that would freak people out, But again, it's like Santa Claus, right? Well, maybe Santa Claus lives in the North Pole. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff that happens here. We had somebody say benevolent, highly evolved giants under Mount Hayes. I don't know about that, but anyway, lots of interesting things to go on. I believe our generation was meant to be here at this time in history because we can endure everything, says Tammy Hebert. So yes, where do I sign up for the breeding process? I guess he's a little lonely there, Prince Royal is. Well, I don't think you just sign up for it, but anyway, you guys are funny. So actively operating from bases on Earth. That's right. So, that's going to rattle things up. That would definitely be a kind of a paradigm-busting, paradigm-shifting thing for us to learn about. But maybe we're ready for it. Maybe we can handle that because that could be part of the first round. I mean, again, the truth is going to also be like a fountain. You're not going to be able to just stuff this down. There's going to be so many things coming out that people are learning about that you just can't suppress all that knowledge. It's going to be a vast cornucopia of information that just comes blasting out from every direction. It's very exciting, actually, when you think about it that way. And I'm not worried about it. I don't think it's Pandora's box. Michelle Feltman says, love you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for the donation. So there he is talking about that. And then here's Representative Burchett discussing bases under the sea or underwater. He said military officials have briefed him on the possibility that extraterrestrials may have underwater bases. He claims intelligence points to 5 specific locations in U.S. waters where submerged facilities with UAPs in them could exist. Something would have had to be there for a millennium, or at some kind of base. That's where it would have to be. Now, he's actually talked about this before with Ross Coulthart, so we know there's a lot more to the story, including the fact that apparently these bases are near ancient submerged architecture, that there's sunken architecture in the ocean that actually is pyramids or large buildings, stone buildings of different types, and that this stuff down there is in fact, part of this ancient Atlantean civilization that got lost, and it's being rediscovered. So there apparently are habitable structures under the ground, ancient underground bases that they're still using below where these ancient stone monuments are, and these various extraterrestrial groups are down there in these areas, and they still inhabit these underground facilities. Pretty wild. And the underground facilities are probably amazing. I mean, I can only imagine, if we get full disclosure, what we're going to learn and all the things there are to know and how exciting that is for our future. It's just, I honestly, I'm so happy to be doing this show. I'm so happy that I'm reporting on this, and this is really taking off. And it's just, and he also said, anyway, we don't need to go through all that. So, I do care about disclosure. I think it's important. I think it's good that we've got it. I think it's good that this is happening. I think it's really, we're ripe for a paradigm shift where we need this kind of a change to occur in the world. And it's a very, very positive thing, man. So that's where it would have to be. 5 different locations. Something would have to have been there for millennium. Well, that's, again, talking about the fact that it's like submerged architecture. That's his way of kind of talking around that, which he's already said before. So, again, when we have the ancient civilization connection, it suggests, too, that if these people have time travel, maybe the ancient civilization isn't really ancient. Maybe they can blink back to Atlantis, blink forward into our future. Maybe they know that their civilization sunk, but they actually can get beyond that point and come here and visit us in the future and try to warn us about, making sure that we don't destroy ourselves and trying to protect the next phase of life on Earth when it becomes technologically advanced. I mean, it's very, very interesting. And again, some of the stuff that's coming out from these submerged underwater sites apparently are the spherical UFOs that appear to be drones because they're very small and they fly in formation and they look very robotic. So they're probably using those to monitor our Earth and make sure that we don't get in trouble and make sure that we don't pollute and do these kind of things. But it's just super cool, man. I love disclosure. We still got 4,000 people watching. Thank you guys for being here. I've heard so many things about the ancient world, about Atlantis, and the fact that they had portals, the fact they were traveling to other solar systems, the fact that other solar systems were visiting us. You go back and you look at the Egyptian cave paintings, right? The temple paintings of Zep-Tepi are the first time. And you see this evidence that here's these different looking beings. You have beings that look like they've got a bird head. You have beings that look like they have a dog head, like Set. You have, in Hinduism, you have Hanuman, the monkey god, right? There's just all these different really cool phenologies of ETs. There's, in the Hindu tradition, you have Nagas, which are snakes or reptilian type beings. All of these beings present themselves in different guises in the ancient teachings. And so Atlantis looks like it was a society that had interstellar travel, extraterrestrials like the Cantina scene visiting our world, different types all coming together and joining up with each other for, again, probably a shared common goal. At least there was 2 societies. According to Casey readings, there was Rama and there was Atlantis. And they ended up warring with each other, had a nuclear war, and then Atlantis sinks and becomes Antarctica. And that's why that's the only landmass on Earth that really fits the descriptions in Plato's Timaeus and Critias, where they're large continents surrounded by water. If the continent sank and if the Earth flipped on its axis, which apparently nuclear weapons can make that happen, they can destabilize the Earth if you use too many of them at once, That's the mystery of Atlantis. Atlantis is Antarctica. All that stuff is going to come out, man. Disclosure just opens the door wide. Things I've been talking about for so many years are being vindicated, validated left and right. Donna Smith donated. Thank you very much for that. Let's make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Yep, finally, full disclosure is starting. Thank you for helping us prepare for it, David. Well, I'm very grateful to be doing that. You know, again, I got a big threat profile in my life. It's very obvious that various power groups don't like me. They wouldn't want me to be here. So I never know from one day to the next how long I've got. But I want to make every show count. I want to make every show great. And I decided I'm going to step up for you guys this week and do a show, even though I had a very horrible week. The weather was so horrible. I didn't feel like doing it at all. That's why I didn't even announce it until Saturday evening. But, you know, hey, we're here now. So Atlantis is a very, very fascinating subject. And one that, full disclosure, is going to pay off in spades. We're going to have so much new stuff to talk about. And we're going to learn about, in time, I believe, submerged architecture. I've always been told that's a big part of disclosure as well, that we're going to finally have these things be acknowledged. And so that would be another note to give to this administration is, yeah, let's go back to Paulina Zalewski. Let's go back to the submerged architecture off the coast of Cuba. Let's go back to the one that we see off the coast of Japan, that there's an island in Japan that has these really great megalithic architecture under there. And we know that this stuff wasn't above sea level for at least 11,000 years. Talk about Göbekli Tepe. We do that all the time on Ancient Aliens, back when I was on the show. You know, and we had 2 more donations come in here. So we had Diana Dawn and Neo Raven. She says, I appreciate how you present your information in a cool, calm, and collected manner. Keep up the good work. And then Neo says, thank you for all you've done for this disclosure. Because of the work you've done, the shock that people are so scared of will be largely diffused. Well, I don't know. I mean, hopefully enough people, you know, are going to be okay that they can help calm other people down. I don't have anywhere near the reach that I did before, but you know, I'm happy to be involved whatever way I can. Mathematician, David, how do you think the war in Iran will play into this? Surely good beings will not allow us to engage in something that could lead to World War III. Yes, I definitely think that there's at least a possibility that this still won't happen. It's very scary, and I hope that it doesn't lead to World War III. And I just want to say, you know, I trust that they're doing the best they can and that we're going to try to hopefully not have this turn into a big thing, but it could. And we just got to take it one day at a time. I mean, that's all you can do. I don't know. I don't have omniscient intelligence. There's no way to know what's going on. But we let's just pray that that doesn't happen. Christopher says, appreciate you very much and love you, man. Thank you very much, Christopher. I love all you guys too. Even the haters. I mean, we typically, you know, moderate, but, you know, that's the only way some people can process the things I'm telling are to try to make fun of it. But again, we've got the President of the United States telling us that this stuff is really going somewhere. So that means a lot. That really does change the game, and it's pretty intense. So, okay. Anyway, back to the slide. Next one on the list here. The Age of Disclosure director, Michael Farah, goes and takes a victory lap, which, you know, Dan Farah, sorry. He definitely has earned it by this point. Oops, sorry. Somebody told me to put lip balm on, and I had the camera on me over here while I did my lip balm, thinking I'm on the slide, but I'm really not. That's okay. That's okay. Anyway, these things happen, right? A little bit of a mistake there, but that's okay. Tracy R. told me I needed lip balm. I'm like, yeah, you're right. My lips are dry. Thank you. So anyway, we had 2 more, Melinda Jensen and Patricia Moran. Thank you guys very much, or girls, for the donation. Really appreciate your help. All right. He says, I couldn't be prouder. This is a historic turning point in human history. He's the director of the documentary releasing these files. When we made the film, myself and everyone who participated in it hoped it would set the stage for a sitting president to tell the world we're not alone in the universe, and it seems like he was listening. Well, again, that film did do a great deal to move the ball forward. Now, is he entitled to take full credit for this? I don't know. mean, you know, the president might not like that, but who knows? The point is, yes, the film did do a great job of bringing out information for people who are more normal and haven't really been exposed to this before. A lot of us, you know, in the community said, oh yeah, I'm aware of all these things, but it was still done very well. And mainly because so many new insiders came forward and they all had very authoritative things to say. So again, I think it's great, and he does have a right to take a victory lap. So thank you, Dan, for what you did here. Now, this is another one that popped up recently. This is from Representative Anna Luna. She posted this just yesterday, where she's showing you the idea of the wormhole travel, where you go right through a hole in space and time in order to go from one place to another. So clearly she's been given briefings, clearly she's been vetted out on stuff, and she knows what's going on, and she's saying that yes, they are using interdimensional forms of travel. So again, she's had a lot of cool things to say. This was another one that's very interesting, and we applaud her for being courageous and speaking out about this stuff. Now we have Representative Boebert saying that we're going to be learning really interesting things. We've gone in and seen some of the classified documents, she says. There's some really interesting things in there. I don't want to pull an Obama, I guess that's now a thing, and disclose classified information, but I am really excited that this is coming out. We heard the same thing from Luna as well, that there are going to be some great payoffs in here. It's not just going to be a sleepy, boring, annoying lack of information. It's going to be pretty vast, pretty exciting, pretty all-encompassing. So, hey, I say bring it on. Let's get to the truth. A lot of your insights might be controversial, says Royal Black, but you tell the truth and the community tunes in. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so definitely we love Representative Boebert. She does a great job. And, you know, lots of things that I'm happy about. We're going to get some really cool stuff. We're going to get some things we hadn't heard before. We're going to get new truths, new information. And it's very, very positive. So let's keep our focus on that. Let's be clear that as we move forward, getting that type of information really makes a big difference. It's going to change how we think. It's going to change how we feel, changes our emotional state, changes our so-called vibration. And it's really, in many ways, a big, big relief. It's like letting all this pressure off your chest. Oh, thank God. I knew this was true, but it never, you know, it's like when you're a kid and you want to believe in Santa Claus. I knew it was true, but I just never got the final proof. And so getting the final proof really makes a difference. And we're still holding true. 4,000 people watching. Thank you guys for being here. Nice big turnout. Here's another poster on X discussing these big picture implications I'm talking about right now. And there's some pretty good stuff he's got in here. But actually what I have to do is actually make slides out of it, because I did not do that. So it's got to be readable. And I failed to do that. So let's do that right now. I failed, you guys, but that's okay. We're going to make this happen so that it can be read. Sorry about that. I was working on this morning. We will get this for you right now so that we can get this all together. So hold on. I got to break it up into 3 equal pieces so that we can read it. But it's worth it. I think these words are very wise, and we're not going to read all of them because there's some keywords in there, but you'll hear me talk around that a little bit. So here we go. Nice move that we can make on this. All right. Okay, so here we go. Back to the slide now. Whoops. So he says, media is exploding right now, and for good reason. When a former president says the phenomenon exists, and then a current president responds by saying that he revealed classified information, we are no longer in fringe territory. He is absolutely right. We have blown ourselves out of that complacency, and now it's in a whole different thing. Did somebody else donate something? R.W. Phoenix, did he do it again? Oh, no, he's just... Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure. Yes, my higher self is still in contact with me. That's a very important part of my life. And I have had some very positive dreams lately about, you know, how you guys are going to be okay, and you know what I need to do to just keep moving forward, do my next launch, et cetera, et cetera. All these things are coming in. So Obama said we are no longer in fringe territory, he says, because you got two former presidents both speaking out about this stuff. Obama said there are things in our skies we cannot explain. 47 did not dismiss that. He said that Obama talked about something classified. That is not denial. That is acknowledgement. Absolutely. It's like, wow, how do we get to this point? But however we got here, it's like so exciting. I love it. I really, really love it. So I'm so happy that this is happening, you guys. He says, two presidents, two different administrations, same underlying reality. This phenomenon exists. Okay, people say it's a distraction. Iran, politics, maybe. But pressure has been building for years. Military witnesses, scientists, researchers, civilians pushing for transparency. This did not appear out of thin air. If declassification of UAP files is now being ordered, then we have reached a threshold and crossed it. Once that door opens up to the public, it cannot easily be closed. What will truly shake the world is not just the confirmation, it's the full picture. If we've been kept in the dark for decades, maybe longer, that changes everything. The real question then becomes, how will institutions handle it? Governments, intelligence agencies, even religious institutions. How do you explain the long-term silence? Why was it necessary? Was it for protection? Was it control? Was it fear? Or is it something we will only understand once we see the whole truth? Maybe when everything is finally put on the table, we will understand why decisions were made the way that they were. Yeah, if you get to the upsetting part, I think that is part of what we're going to get, right? We know that there's reasons why they had to hide it. Maybe some of it was considered too destabilizing. But personally, and I know many feel the same, truth matters more than comfort. What a great point. Even if it's difficult truth that shakes foundations. Yes, I agree. It's not Pandora's box. It's going to be good. A transparent world creates the conditions for real progress. Without truth, there is no trust. Without trust, there is no healthy future. If this is the beginning, then history just shifted. What do you guys think about that, huh? Yeah, it's pretty wild. So the name David carries weight. Okay, so anyway, we'll give you a little. There's only one institute. Okay, when the veil is lifted, people realize the truth of everything has been hidden out there all along. That's right. So look, I'm pretty excited about all this. I'm very happy that we're getting disclosure. I think these statements that this guy made are right on. What was his name again? Oh, Dennis Asberg. Okay. So, you know, this is really my dream. That disclosure coming true, all this stuff happening is what I've dreamed about for so long. I love it. I'm very happy about it. We're at 4,000 viewers. Let's keep going, man. We have another quote from David Grush where he's describing multiple crash retrievals that have happened. It's a good time for us to remember this now, with all the things that are happening today. Ross Coulthard asks him, we have spacecraft from another species? He says, we do. How many? Quite a number. How does Grush know that? The answer is that it's from current and former senior intelligence community officers coming to him with their first-hand testimonies, documents, and other proof. We should not call them aliens, but instead non-human intelligence, since using the term alien would denote a point of origin which we don't know. So if 47 wants a quick disclosure talk to Grush, he's just down the hall. That's pretty funny, isn't it? It's pretty funny. So, you know, quite a number. That's the big thing there that they're reminding us once more. You know, so thank you, Linda Kiesling. Thank you for this. So any timeline on this announcement, we don't really know, but again, it was supposedly could happen July the 8th. It supposedly could happen maybe even before then. I mean, the files are being ordered to be declassified, so that might even happen sooner than that. It's very, very cool. And I'm really excited. I applaud David for smiling through years of ridicule. He keeps his cool to the end. I admire you, says Laura Trim. Thank you very much. Jeez. Yeah, thank you, Serena Bella. We got that one. Yeah, you know, people like to be mean, but whatever, it's fine. It's fine. So, many, many different spacecraft that have crashed here, which means we have a robust reverse engineering program. We have all this technology. That's the part I've always been working on. Let's try to get that technology out into the open, and let's learn what's going on. Let's have another one here. Okay. So then we have Elizondo, interestingly enough, again, contradicting what we just heard from Grush completely, saying that we've never recovered a single drone. There are individuals currently right now in the administration that are very keen in trying to get to the bottom of this. At no time were we able to get or identify or retrieve a single drone. Now, I'm not sure if this means that he's trying to say that there were never any crashes at all, but that is interesting, isn't it? Because the other guy, David Grush, is saying, yes, we've had multiple crashes. And he, by the way, declined to participate in the Age of Disclosure film. So the truth is going to be somewhere in between. I've certainly heard about many crash retrievals. Roswell certainly was told in our original posts back then that Roswell was real. So we have lots of reason to be positive and grateful. Yes, not all ETs are trustworthy. We need to strengthen discernment. I totally agree with that. Donna Smith donated. Thank you very much, Donna. And thank you for making it a nice, happy show. Apocalypse means disclosure of truth and hidden knowledge and wisdom in Greek. Yes, that's absolutely true. So again, all this info is coming out. Confirmation, and Star Wars was real. You're right. That's absolutely true. So look, I'm really thrilled about this, and lots to explore, lots to be grateful for, man. It's a very exciting time. So then we see that even the House Oversight Committee, because of this intelligence community aspect of this thing, they're getting pushed back, and they're not getting the information they want to have. This is Representative Jared Moskowitz saying House Oversight is being denied access to information on UFOs. When we tried to put language into bills about disclosure, there are people from government who come down, go to the House, whatever that is, HPSCI Committee and Armed Services, and they try to stop it. They're stopping disclosure. If there's nothing there, if it's all fake, if it doesn't exist, then why are there people in the government who are actively trying to stop it from coming out? That is a very, very important question. Don't you think the White House team is checking the temperature reaction to the announcement to determine if we are ready? Yeah, I think they are, and I think we're doing fine. I mean, nobody's freaking out. Nobody's had a big problem. We're doing well. We're getting what we need to get out of this, and it's good. Yes, thank you, Linda. So I read 4,000 words per minute, she says. Trolls, look out. All right. So it's not a bad thing, man. I don't think that we're going to destabilize society. I don't think that things are going to come crashing down. I think that we can all learn to be more loving to each other and more respectful, and it's going to inform our ancient religions. It's going to inform our own belief systems and our viewpoints, and it's going to help us to be better citizens of planet Earth. This is all really positive. And so for me, I'm so grateful that this happened this week. It changed the whole focus of what I was going to talk about, changed the whole show. And I'm grateful for that, man. Let's keep this thing rolling. I mean, I am willing to put my life down. I've got very serious threats that I've had. We had some really crazy stuff happen on the phone. I was talking about something and it beeped, and then I got a message that actually did happen to me when I was on the phone with one of my friends, and it's like, wow, that never happened before. That was very intimidating, actually, that did occur. That was 3 weeks ago, right around the time that everything was first coming out with these so-called files. So okay, I get it. There's definitely pressure being applied, and the weather's been really insane up here. It's been very difficult to live here, but I'm going to keep fighting, and I'm going to keep on going, and we're doing the best we can. So listening and watching you for 10 years, David, you're doing good. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Do you think they will talk about physical extraterrestrials or interdimensional ones? I think it's probably going to be both. Yes, this is the best news and current events for a long time. And so there's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on here on Earth. And we have this crazy drought on the whole western side of America that's going on right now because of the weather being so weird. The fires in Oklahoma, we pray for them. the whole western side of America is all really dry and has a very high fire risk, and that's very anomalous. We just never get any snow here that's sufficient enough to get us out of the fire warning. And that's very strange. So, you know, all kinds of stuff going on. It's a difficult time, but I'm doing my best and I'm holding the line. Thank you guys for being here. I'm so ready for this. This is what we came to Earth for. They are moving forward with disclosure. That's the whole point. Marilyn Jacobson was talking about that. David, you paved the way. You've supported us through this clown show. I was getting weary and tired. Well, thank you very much. You want to try England? It's been raining for 3 months straight here, and I hate it. Well, I'm sorry about that. That really sucks, too. It's another way to stay depressed, isn't it, I guess? So, anyway, yeah, there's definitely a lot of threats on me. There's a lot of things that I'm worried about. There's things that I'm very concerned about, and I hope that it'll all work out. But we really don't know. And so I have to live my life like every show could be the last one. And I'm just going to do the best I can to be here for you guys. I love you guys. And I think that I'll be okay, but we just got to keep on fighting. And, you know, it's definitely strange how difficult it is for me to make the impacts that I used to have. You know, you can call that what you like. But again, we got 4,000 people watching. That makes me very happy. Wow, we are being bombarded with ads. You're right over the target. Well, you can always hit skip, or you can also, again, subscribe to Premium, and then you don't have to see those. You are protected, says Lisa Taylor. Thank you very much. Yep. Thank you guys for saying that I'm protected. I really appreciate that. And thank you for helping me with your donations. It's really great. So, Ross Coulthart is talking about the idea, did the U.S. make a deal with the wrong side 60 to 70 years ago? Agreements between humans and non-humans, he says, imagine how Russia, Britain, China, the rest of the world would feel if they learned that the Americans concluded a deal with non-human intelligence 60 to 70 years ago, and potentially with the wrong ones. Wow. That's a big statement, isn't it? Vacapalo, thank you for the donation. She's expecting 16 to 22 inches of snow in New Jersey. Holy crap. Yeah, you guys are getting hit with a really big storm. You know, sorry about that. And just hang in there. But so, yeah, 60 to 70 years ago, deal with potentially the wrong side. I've heard the same thing. Around the 1950s, a certain amount of abductions were allowed to take place. And these beings don't actually have our best interest in mind because, again, certain types of greys that are abducting people may actually be using humans as a food source. That's one of the things that we learned. Goes back to, you know, lots of different whistleblowers. Also cattle mutilations, same kind of thing. You know, why are they draining these certain organs from these animals? And yeah, that's really disturbing stuff. And, you know, we don't want to get too into that right now. It's disturbing, upsetting. I get all that. But, you know, there's a reason for why he would say this, and he's not just blowing smoke. You know, if we made a deal with the wrong side, that's part of what's going to come out. And so, you know, people will need to be able to have their spiritual strength in there. Wow, we're at 4,222 viewers. That's great. You guys really showed up, and thank you. Yep. So, yes, it is good for you guys to be here with me now. I'm really glad that you're here. Potentially with the wrong side. Then we also saw this one pop up, which is really pretty amazing. A document circulating from the time of Roswell that gets into some Hindu cosmology where they may know something more than they're telling us about where these beings are really coming from. So this one popped up just in the last couple of days, as I said. I saw it yesterday, or put it into the show. The Round Robin, the Flying Roll, San Diego, California, July 8th, 1947. This was right on Roswell, right around that time. For your information, a memorandum of importance. So this is a leaked document of some kind that the government was holding on to. The memorandum is respectfully addressed to certain scientists of distinction, to important aeronautical and military authorities, to a number of public officials, and to a few publications. So this is probably a private individual who wrote this and circulated it to the government, and then it became a government file. But there's some really interesting stuff in this one here. And, oh, somebody's got up to 30 inches at the Jersey Shore, Bonnie Binsky. Anyway, the writer has little expectation that anything of import will be accomplished by this gesture. The mere fact that the data herein were obtained by so-called supernormal means is probably sufficient to ensure its disregard by nearly all the persons addressed. Nevertheless, it seems a public duty to make it available. Well, again, we're talking probably about intuitive channeling, but we've seen that some people's channeling has been really good when they get these things through intuitive means. The MX Rider just donated, thank you very much, talking about Brazilian mediums. LOL, blessings from the Father to everyone here. All right. So, okay, what does he have to say? What did he, well, obviously they took it seriously enough that they kept it as a government file. It's now being circulated that we can see it. The present writer has several university degrees and was formerly a university department head. A very serious situation may develop at any time with regard to the flying saucers. If one of these should be attacked, the attacking plane would almost certainly be destroyed. Well, it's interesting how much restraint they've shown, because remember, this was right in the middle of the Kenneth Arnold sightings, right in the middle of the flying saucer boom, the craze, and they actually show restraint. They're not blowing up airplanes all the time. We haven't seen that happening. There might be a couple cases of, like the Charles Mantell crash, for example, but in general, that is not what's been happening. Right, 30 inches of snow anywhere in one storm is just about record-breaking, says Scarlet Fire. I would agree. So the attacking plane would almost certainly be destroyed. In the public mind, this might create near panic and international suspicion. The principal data concerning these craft is now at hand and must be offered, no matter how fantastic and unintelligible it may seem to minds not previously instructed in thinking of this type. Right. Number one, part of the discs carry crews, others are under remote control. I would agree with that. Number two, their mission is peaceful, and the visitors contemplate settling on this plane. Well, eventually they might want to be here with us, but yes, I totally agree. Their mission is peaceful. Number three, these visitors are human-like, but much larger in size. Well, some of them are taller, some of them are not taller. So that one maybe didn't quite stand up the test of time as well as everything else in here. But, you know, it's pretty interesting either way. Number four, they are not excarnate Earth people, meaning they're not from the Earth. They weren't born here, but they come from their own world. Yes, they're visitors from outer space. Number five, they do not come from any planet as we use this word, but from an etheric planet interpenetrating with our own that is not perceptible to us. Well, again, that's his channeling, and I would say that it's not just one planet, and it's obviously not just here on Earth. There's plenty of stuff out there in the cosmos, plenty of different places you could originate from that these beings have come to us from. The bodies, number six, the bodies of the visitors and the craft also automatically materialize when they enter the vibratory rate of our dense matter C apports. And I would agree with that. They don't necessarily exist in our own frequency, but when they come here, they become visible to us. Number nine, the discs possess a type of radiant energy or a ray which still easily can disintegrate any attacking ship. They can re-enter the etheric planes at will and then would simply disappear from our vision without a trace. And yes, I would agree with that as well. However, we really haven't seen anybody getting shot with particle beams. They might have that capability, but wow. Linda says, a friend sent a video of Chesapeake Bay with 2 feet of snow and ice. My goodness. Sorry that that's happened, you guys. Anybody who lives out there, it's a really rough time right now, but you know, hang in there, keep up the good faith, and get your shovel out, man, or get your snowblower if you have one. So they can re-enter the etheric at will or disappear from our vision without a trace. That's absolutely true. The region from which they come is not the astral plane, but corresponds to the locas or talas. Students of esoteric matters will understand these terms, and I'm going to explain both of them to you in just a second. And it's very interesting because it's, again, I think he's totally right on this. There's 7 planes of existence that are in the heavens and 7 hells, and he says they could come from either one. And again, the government released this document And Caribbean Jack says, David, is there a reason why your name is 333? Yes, there is. It was my synchronicity number. When I woke up, I noticed 333 on a digital coffee grinder. Reality was never the same again after that. Well, for me, it happened on the microwave. I was at home one night and I looked at the microwave and it said 333. And I had this feeling like my soul was coming out of the top of my body and turning cartwheels in the air. It was this incredible sensation of uplifting energy. It was totally wonderful. And I've never been the same, man. That changed my life forever. It was like a contact type of experience, I guess you could say. And I'm still fighting and I'm still doing the good work here and I'm still in love with the cosmos, in love with the higher beings. And I just really, really hope that, I get protection and guidance and can keep on going and keep this show on the road. Katarina, thank you for the donation. ETs could land on the White House lawn, but the media would still focus on Savannah Guthrie's missing mother. Well, yeah, but there's going to be a point where they can't keep this down, and I think we're at that point now. We're getting very close to fundamental things changing in such drastic ways. It's already happening, man. This is just a great time to be alive. And I am truly thrilled. I'm very honored to be here with you guys. Let's keep this going. Yeah, we are definitely in a good place here. So they probably cannot be reached by radio, but probably can be by radar if a signal system can be devised for that advice. Well, or that apparatus. Well, that's definitely not a way in which they've chosen to communicate. They've been very elusive. But, this was in the peak of the saucer craze. He was hoping they would want to talk to us. They really don't. In general, they don't really stay in touch. But let's go back to number 8. The region they come from is not the astral plane, but corresponds to lokas or talas. Students of esoteric matters will understand these terms. Well, let's figure out what that actually means, okay? Here we go. And this was on AI search summary thing. Lokas are realms or planes of existence in Hindu cosmology representing different levels of consciousness, spiritual development, and karma-driven rebirth. The most common classification is the Trailokya, or 3 worlds: Buloka, earth; Bhuvarloka, atmosphere; and Svarga, heaven. However, a more detailed structure describes 14 lokas, divided into 7 upper worlds, or Vyarthis, and 7 lower worlds, or Patalas. This is really, really cool. So let's take a look at what they are. Satya Loka, abode of truth, home to Brahma and liberated souls, the highest realm where the soul achieves liberation. That would be like 7th density in the Law of One. And the Law of One does say that there are correspondences to their densities in the Hindu scriptures. So now we're getting them. It's really, really interesting. Tapaloka, realm of austerity, renunciation. This would be 6th density, inhabited by ascetics and sages. Janaloka, world of creation and wisdom. That would be 5th density. And again, in Law of One, that's like the worlds of wisdom. Home to the sons of Brahma and other sages. Maharloka, realm of greatness and virtue, accessible to great rishis. Svarga Loka, heaven, ruled by Indra, reward for righteous deeds and that would be self-sacrifice. Bhuvar Loka, the intermediate world of air and space, home to Siddhas and Garvanas. And then Bhuloka, the physical earth where humans and animals live, divided into 7 dvipas or islands. So this isn't, again, Law of One says there's changes in the format from how they describe it. It's not exactly the same. But again, you see that he's saying that some of these beings are coming from these heavenly realms that are inhabited by ascetics, and that your soul can achieve liberation. It's very, very cool stuff. And I love this, man. I love the process of learning about these things. That's right. The donation link has been posted by Serena, and it does now work. Somebody said thank you. Hey, my name is Loka, says Scarlet Fire. Well, yeah. So there you go. You got a great name. And you just did some moderation as well. So let's see what we got here. Oh, well, anyway. So then, not only that, he also said there's lower lokas too, right? So let's get into those for a minute. Well, this is really interesting. Lower realms. Atala Loka, the realm of sin and deception, home to demons like Bala. Bala Baal, yeah. Even the name Baal is actually very similar. Hi, David from Canada. Thank you for the donation from Kaylee. Appreciate it. So Baal, really? Even the name Baal that we see in like Carthaginian, Roman tradition actually shows up as Bela. It's very similar. Wow. So these negative realms are really a thing. The Hindus had it all mapped out. Vitala Loka, the world of power and wealth inhabited by followers of Hataka. Sutala Loka, the realm of generosity and devotion. I guess that's about as good as you're ever going to get down there. Ruled by a so-called benevolent demon, Bali. There's that ball of Baal again, right? Well, it's probably not a place I'd want to go. Let's hope I never have to visit Sutala Loka. Rasatala Loka, the world of violence and ignorance, the home to the Danavas, demon sons of Diti. Talatala Loka, the realm of magic and illusion governed by Maya and his followers. Maya, again, means delusion and spiritual lack of truth. Mahatala Loka, the world of envy and anger, inhabited by many-headed serpents or Nagas. Well, we know about the Nagas. The Nagas are a big part of Hindu cosmology, and they are reptilian beings. Now, whether they have multiple heads or not, I would say probably not. But again, isn't it interesting that that one little thing, double-clicking on Lokas, gets into these 7 planes of heaven, 7 planes of hell, totally corresponding with, just like he said, the idea that extraterrestrials could be coming from both places, and the government held this document and considered it legitimate, enough that it got put out in a leak. Now, again, I don't know where exactly it came from, but it showed up on my feed. So, and again, we got 3,912 viewers right now, so we're holding up. Everything is looking good. Then, so the world of envy and anger is where the reptilians are located, and then Patala Loka, that's the lowest realm associated with darkness, fear, and serpent kings like Vasuki. Wow, there again is the concept of reptilians. When you go down to the lowest, nastiest, dirtiest realm there is, the one that's the most violent and horrible, now you've got reptilians down there. Imagine that. Are you surprised? No, I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. And this was all in a document from 1947. Imagine that these lower planes do exist. Some of the beings come from the higher planes, some of the beings come from lower planes. Very interesting. These realms are not just physical planets, but spiritual dimensions reflecting the soul's journey through karma, dharma, and ultimately moksha, or liberation. The Bhagavata Purana and Vishnu Purana detail these realms, emphasizing their symbolic and soteriological meanings. And it's also an app that uses voice recognition. We don't care about that. For detailed visual breakdown, refer to sources like da-da-da-da. And so anyway, this is one of the logos that you see, where you have the talas on the left, which are the negative ones. You have the lokas on the right, the positive ones. And then you have the 7 planes of existence. And apparently they're mapped out like this in this kind of expanded oval. So you have A on the left, Rasatala, then B prime, C prime, D prime, E prime, F prime, and then G, F, E, D, C, B, A, back to A again. Sort of like the idea of the circle of fifths, sort of like the musical scale, musical diagram, the circle of fifths. If you know what that is, if you're a musician, you probably do know that. Bonnie Demlong just donated. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Talas are the material, physical aspects of the 7 cosmic planes in theosophy and esoteric Hindu cosmology, paired with their corresponding spiritual counterparts known as the lokas. Together, lokas and talas form a dualistic structure representing the spiritual and material planes, the poles of each plane, like the 2 sides of a coin. Lokas represent spiritual, conscious, ethereal dimensions, higher states of being, conscious, divine principle. Talas represent material, physical, or substance-based dimensions, lower realms dominated by matter, form, and physicality. And that's fascinating because, again, the briefing was saying that these UFOs are coming from both places. So yes, some UFOs come from interdimensional planes. Some of them come from other planets, which would be more of a Tala than a Loka. So it's really surprising. A document from 1947 being this right on. I can't believe it, actually. In the evolutionary process, it says the descent of life waves through the cosmos occurs through the talas, where beings then build their physical and astral bodies. This is, again, exactly what it says in the Law of One, the upward spiraling line of light, the life wave. I could not believe it when I saw this today either. When I looked this up, I was like, wow, there's your spiraling line of light. There's another validation of the Law of One. We've been talking about that you start out as a life wave, you start out as a photon, and you coalesce a body out of your indigo ray level. The pineal chakra level is where it comes out of. The ascent involves passing through the lokas where spiritual unfoldment and inner realization occur. Absolutely. So you have to go through planets, you have to go through spiritual planes. Each of the 7 cosmic planes has a loka and a tala forming 7 pairs. I would agree with that. These are not fixed locations, but dynamic spheres of consciousness and matter. The Earth, for example, is currently in Burloka Patala, the earthly Lokatala pair, but is also influenced by higher Lokatala pairs, such as Varloka Tatala and Maharloka Rasatala, reflecting the multi-layered nature of human and planetary inner evolution. These planes are interconnected and interblending, with each Loka and Tala containing within the potential of all the others. That's exactly what the Law of One teaches, forming a nested hierarchical structure, as stated in Theosophy, which again is based on Hinduism. And so, you can diss it if you want to, but it's got the Hinduism behind it. Every one of the globes of a planetary chain is the embodiment of the swabhava of its predominant Lokatala twin. This concept extends from the macrocosm, the galaxy solar system, to the microcosm of the human being, with our human constitution mirroring the Lokatala structure, making the understanding of talas not just cosmological, but deeply personal, essential for spiritual development and self-realization. And there's also a regional airport in Kyrgyzstan called Talas, and a type of linen in aviation, but it's unrelated to the esoteric concept. So wow, how amazing that there's all these layers in the lokas and talas that was in that document that totally pays us off in these beautiful ways relating to UFO scholarship and where did they come from? They come from higher planes and lower planes. The very fact that this document was highlighted by these governmental authorities suggests that, yes, they take this very seriously and that this is actually, they're on the right track. So, wow, I love it, man. I really love it. We give information and warning and can do no more. Let the newcomers be treated with every kindness. Unless the discs are withdrawn, what does that say? A da-da-da-da-da with which our culture and science are incapable of achieving. I can't really read all that. A heavy responsibility rests upon the few in authority who are able to understand this matter. So again, it seems like he's worried about it, that if the discs stick around that we could be attacked, because he says some of them are negative. And then addendum, this is hard to read. The lokas are oval-shaped, fluted length. That's what we just looked at. And then the UFOs apparently have a oval heat release resisting metal or alloy, not yet known to us. The front edge contains the controls. The middle portion is a laboratory. The rear contains armament, which consists essentially of a powerful energy apparatus, perhaps a ray, Okay, we can't read the rest. But anyway, it's interesting that they crossed out some stuff. There's some redactions in there. You don't really know why that is. But again, what a big payoff we got off of this one document. How much it's loaded with nuggets that are really pretty intense. And so again, imagine the scope of what disclosure can involve. Imagine the scope of maybe there are going to be documents like this and many others that are going to come out in vast numbers. We hope that there will be a whole bunch of them that we haven't already seen. Videos, testimony from insiders, recovered materials, speeches being made. We are not alone in the universe. This is the future. So here's another one that showed up on X. Tom DeLonge speaking about what he calls the others. And he says the exact term my government contacts used is the others. It's not the phenomenon. They don't call them aliens. They explained to me that they are gods with a little g, but they are not ETs because they were always here. This gets right back into, again, the Hinduism, the scriptures, the fact that they were seen as gods, the fact that they have these 7 planes, that they come from these different planes. So this Tom DeLonge is fitting in right here. Now, again, remember, some of the people in the negative groups think they're the descendants of these gods, the blood descendants, that they therefore, like elongated skull mystery, all that kind of stuff, which we'll get into that another time. Obama said aliens are real. 47 confirmed it unintentionally. He might have been briefed on Nordics walking among us, and he heard from Grush about recovered crash UFOs, biologicals, probably grays. The key to flying some of the gifted UFOs is the human consciousness. Tom DeLonge was right all along. Try explaining that to your normie friends. Good luck. And then here, again, we hear the demon comparison, where he says, NHI, and what people think are demons in the Bible and other religions share a very, very strong link. There again, same thing. What you have is something that doesn't like us and either feels jealous of us or has some kind of plan of what we are to be. And yet aliens do not equal demons. Ponder that. Well, yes, some of them are negative, some of them are evil, but we don't want the narrative to be consumed by that. We want to stay positive and focus on the fact that we have both types and that it's a real thing. Now, here's another person, a doctor, Charlotte Kellum, saying this is a legitimate public health and governance issue. Dr. Charlotte Kellum argues UFOs have evolved from a dismissed piece of folklore to a legitimate global security, public health, and governance issue. This is clearly coming out of a University of Michigan.edu website. The link is. And so this is now something we really do need to take seriously. So it's finally getting the attention it deserves from academics. We're finally having people take this seriously. Thank God, right? It's been so long that we've been waiting to try to get to this point where we have enough people taking this seriously. And I'm happy about that, man. I've been fighting for that for so long. This is a very good day for me to be alive. Does anyone else have a memory of seeing a large-eyed animal at their bedroom window when they were kids? Guess what? That wasn't an owl. This is Brian from Boise. Yes, and sometimes I do answer questions, so you guys can write things in, and when I am over here at the sidebar, I do look at this. Are you having vivid dreams? Yes, I am. I've had some really pretty interesting dreams lately about all this stuff. Certainly, it's a very exciting time. So then we have Dr. Gary Nolan saying, nope, folks, we may not be at the top of the food chain. And again, remember, Greys and reptilians both share these negative characteristics of going after humans in that way. The Greys do it through pureeing us. The reptilians actually like to eat us, without doing any other preparation, just go for it raw. That's one of the, that's probably the most difficult thing that everybody tiptoes around. They don't really want to talk about it. But, that's what we're going to have to deal with if we get the final full disclosure, I guess. And we can defeat this. That's the thing. We have the technology now to stand up to them and drive them out of here. And that's why it's something that I think it's time not to be covered up, but it's time that we know about it and push back. Because, first of all, they can't just come and grab you. You have to authorize this through your own free will. You don't just randomly get captured and eaten. It doesn't work like that. There's laws of karma they have to follow, where only if your karma invited something like this would they be able to do it. So then what they got to do is work on you and try to drag you into a point where you authorize your own destruction through your own free will. Yep. Ryan Lecoulier said, yes, I had an owl come to my crib when I was a kid. It haunted me for years until I talked to Whitley Strieber. I definitely feel I was contacted. That's why I'm here watching. Surely they know about Valiant Thor. You're right. Valiant Thor would be a positive example. Some of them are positive. There's a lot of good human ETs. He talked about Christ, and he wanted us to be going through ascension, and he wanted to help us. And so there's good guys and bad guys in the cosmos, and they're all here working with us together. So, but this is, something that you're not going to be able to keep the lid on this. There's Danica Patrick, the lovely Danica Patrick. I was on her show once. Dr. Gary Nolan, who likely knows far more about the UAP reality than the public, floated a chilling possibility. What if we are not at the top of the food chain? Humanity could be considered someone else's property or even being farmed for something. Yes, the reptilians do believe they own the planet. They say that we're only paying rent here, and they want gold, water, or women. That's what we've heard. So it is disturbing. But again, I think that in order to get through this, in order to unify as a planet, get to the ascension, we have to learn about the truth, even the unsettling things. And so all of these things are part of what we're going to be learning. And he looks pretty freaked out, doesn't he? He doesn't look like he's all that excited about talking about this, but he's willing to do it anyway. Annie Stewart says, greetings from New Zealand. Let the truth shine. She donated. Thank you very, very much for that. Yes. Maintain your great white light barrier. I totally agree. You want to meditate and focus on the light. So then we also hear Bledsoe giving us rumors that Egypt is going to drop some sort of major disclosure. Wouldn't that be great if they can open up one of these tombs like we saw, for example, the labyrinth? We had all that data on the labyrinth, this huge area. We have all the data on the pyramid tunnels. There's new chambers inside the Great Pyramid, new chambers inside the other pyramids. Maybe they've been able to open some of those up. Maybe they even found some stuff in there. I was told by some of the insiders that there's going to be a kind of Easter egg hunt where various things are planted for disclosure. There's various things that are going to be put in there that we discover, and it tells a story, it tells a narrative. And so maybe that's part of what we're going to get out of disclosure is like we open up a certain room, there's an exotic device in there, maybe it has holograms, maybe it tells you some kind of cosmic history, maybe it shows you Atlantis before it sank, maybe it shows you space stations, various extraterrestrial beings. I mean, these are things we've actually been told could happen, and it's very, very exciting now. So I'm really thrilled about the idea that we're going to get more disclosure as time goes on. This is what he has to say. I don't know why they spelled gonna this way, because, obviously it's bad spelling, but he says, I think disclosure is going to become more real. The government's going to release some things. I have a little birdie, so he probably has an insider. And again, who knows who he's working with, but he's been talking to a lot of top podcasters and stuff. I have a little birdie telling me that Egypt is going to release something this year that's going to rewrite history. Wow. Wouldn't that be awesome? That's very exciting. And again, it could be part of a treasure hunt that we get that could really, really take off and go, yes, 2026 is the year of disclosure. Absolutely. So lots of good stuff. And thank you guys for keeping the comments coming. I do like to read them as I'm going along. And so what could it be that comes out of Egypt? Well, there's a lot of ways we could speculate on that, about what it's going to be, where is it going to go. But I'm super excited because, again, Egypt has a number of hidden chambers that they could open up, a number of things that we don't know about. The seismology that they've been doing with that, the side scan radar stuff, seem to be showing there's all kinds of things we're going to learn about. And then we have this idea from Dave Navarro that there could be big UFO news. Apparently he has some sources emerging on March the 3rd, which is really not that far away. We're getting pretty close to that. So Paranormal says, does anyone remember when Dave Navarro posted his photo with George Knapp and said big UFO news would come out on March 3rd, 2026? So this is what it says here. Thanks to my pals, George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, for coming out to see us this evening. We talked about some things tonight that I'd love to share, but I'm afraid it's still classified. All I can say is you may not want to make any plans on March 3rd, 2026. Well, you won't actually have a choice. Whoa, you won't have a choice. Could this be Three Eye Atlas? Could this be the staged invasion? Could this be, whatever it is, it's pretty weird, pretty exciting. Vacapalo, thank you for the donation. Yeah, you won't actually have a choice. That sounds pretty ominous. It could be something big, and maybe 47 knows about it, and maybe he's getting ahead of it. Who knows what's going on? But that's really weird, isn't it? And very interesting as well. So, yet another thing that you can think about and ponder. I think we are protected. I think we're going to be okay. But how interesting that this is coming out, that, a date in our near future could be of significance. Then here's another one that showed up just in the last day. Remote viewers looking at reptilians, and I saw this one a long time ago. Declassified company papers talking about astral projection also contain eyewitness accounts of remote viewers seeing beings in other dimensions, claiming the most common being that they would come across looked like a reptilian. So here we go. Interdimensional beings illustration. And yes, I have had it confirmed from insiders that some of the reptilians do look like this. This is an accurate rendition of there's different species, again, but some of them, but what it looks like. So this is more Clive Burrows' portraits of reptilians overshadowing a human while not actually occupying their body. Burroughs produced these illustrations from descriptions by one of the countless people I have met who see the reptiles of the, I can't read that, of the dimension of the inner fourth dimension. They appear to attach to humans by one of the two lower chakras. Yes, so that's the idea of possession. And it says purpose, provide an overview on remote viewing, focusing on definitions, operations, management, participation, benefits, da-da-da-da. Okay, so here's another, well, first of all, let's just discuss that a little bit. The main interdimensional beings that people are seeing when they go remote viewing is reptilians. That's pretty wild, huh? Pretty wild. Yes, that's apparently what they're getting. They consistently get these visions of reptilians that attach themselves to humans, and they're involved in possession. Well, that's definitely something that's part of the whole bridge that we talked about with the Orions, and how the Orions bridge over into us, and how all that happens with the negative groups. So then we have the John Greenwald's site, The Black Vault, was hacked right after he wanted to help disclosure. And I read this one. Right after he offered to help the administration on their UFO rollout of documents about extraterrestrials, his 100% of his main document server was just gone. No files, nothing. Hundreds of gigabytes of data, thousands of directories, and it all just vanished. And unfortunately, he did not have a backup. Numerous server-side directories had permissions changed, file ownerships changed. It goes on and on. It's heartbreaking. I really feel very bad for him. Hopefully these documents can be recovered or restored some other way. But that right there, the black vault that he had could have been the big disclosure from the administration, and it got wiped out right after he was going to help. So isn't that crazy? Well, again, hopefully there's backups of these, and there's places where they've mostly been stored. But this is a big one, man. This is like definitely showing that there is some kind of insider war going on. There's two sides going at it, and it's very sad. So we're sorry, and we hope we can recover as many of these as possible. Hopefully somebody downloaded them on BitTorrent or something that can be restored. So anyway, Joe Rogan being told that there is a too big to move UFO, which we've been hearing about on social media. I haven't really covered this story, but there's actually a few of these that I've heard of. There's one in Las Vegas. Antarctica obviously has one, the big mothership down there. And another one apparently crashed more recently, and they built an entire building over it. Joe Rogan has his own insiders who told him that this actually exists in Korea, for what it's worth. So it says, if the UFO too big to move does actually exist, the only responsible course of action is to immediately start planning construction of a secure CERN-scale, internationally governed research facility, which I'm sure they're already doing, so the craft can be properly studied rather than left to fragmented secretive research. Well, that's the only kind they want to do right now. But here he is saying the too big to move UFO is located in Korea. So you can go look that up. And, interesting, somebody tipped him off about that. So could this be the one? U.S. congressman claimed that a classified facility housing a UFO is hiding in plain sight right there in Seoul. They built this huge building. It's a massive site, and apparently it's right over the top of where this UFO crash occurred. Well, we don't know yet, but that's a very interesting speculation. So then we have Representative Eric Burleson saying that David Grush told him that 47 was briefed on Nordics and Greys. So that's probably going to be something that comes out right away. And all this stuff came out just in the last day. Is disclosure a protective move against an artificial intelligence? Well, that's a very interesting speculation, isn't it? There is growing recognition, says Matthew Pines, that disclosure was forced on us because of the AI curve, since developing superintelligence is potentially risky to any non-human intelligence that has access to the Earth. The alignment problem may be more complicated than we think. And it says the singularity, as it appears, is nearing open competition with the neighbors. White House scolding former President Obama for taking information that aliens are real out of the classified realm and bringing it out into the public. So again, the idea that maybe we are messing around with AI and we have to disclose before it's too late. It's a fascinating idea, one that I hadn't thought about before. Yes, I've had many insiders tell me about the crashed motherships in Antarctica going back to the early 1990s, actually, is when I first heard about that. So then, to summarize here, Universalist says, people basically found out aliens were real yesterday. The stock market went up. Nobody freaked out. Everybody went to work. It was a normal day. So go ahead and just make the announcement. We're ready. He's trying to goose it along. And I agree. I mean, we can handle the truth. We're adults. We're all learning this together. And, no big deal. No big problem. And we have Ross Coulthart talking about that some people are seeing mantis beings communicating with them in their telepathic mind, I guess, urging them to come forward. Supporters are seeing a pattern in testimonies describing similar entities. Critics are arguing this is psychological, cultural imprinting, or reinforcement of narratives. If multiple experiencers report contact and direction, is it coincidence, influence, or something deeper? Yes, we've definitely heard that there are mantis beings. Here he is in the studio there, in 1 minute and 9 second video in front of an old reel-to-reel cassette recorder. So yes, I've definitely heard about the mantis beings. That's definitely one of the ones that people are apt to see. They're really out there. That's part of what this is. So this is what's going on. Disclosure has happened, and we are in the game now. So this is really, really fascinating for me because we have changed reality. We have shifted our reality completely. We're in a whole new game here, and I am so excited about this. Let's just, yeah, there we go. All right. Just give me a second here. I'm just setting myself up so I can create this out point if we need it. Or we might go a little bit farther, but I want to have that there. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, so we'll have more to talk about in coming times here. So anyway. All right, very good. So again, the briefings that I've had have told me that full disclosure could take a long time. It's not necessarily going to happen right away. And, we definitely are not alone in the universe. That's the main thing. And how that changes our society, how that changes our paradigms, we can't even begin to imagine. They can't give it to us all at once. It would be too much. The types of negative things I was telling you, probably not going to get that in the first round because we don't want people to go into a state of shock, and I get that. But full disclosure, probably therefore, will take a long time. I was even told it might take 10 years. But think about where we would be at the end of that. If they actually get the 10 years to do it, we could have hover cars. We could have off-planet travel. We could be meeting with these extraterrestrials. All kinds of interesting stuff could come out of this. So I want to discuss the implications because there's so many ways that we can take this. What is the world going to look like after this truth is released? Well, it's going to be a very different planet than the one we have now. It's going to be a planet that is loaded with, new information, new truth, perspective shifting, paradigm shifting. We had a donation come in from Dr. Phil XR, donate $50. If it's from our government, it's going to be a psyop. If it's from Bledsoe or David, probably not. Thank you very much. Bledsoe, the jury's still out for me on him. I'm not sure where his information is coming from, but because it's very interesting that he's getting so much publicity, and I wonder why. That's all I can say. But I respect him, and I think he's, certainly going to. Oh, geez. So anyway, you guys see that one. We don't need to let that one go. That's ridiculous. Anyway, thank you very much for everything, you guys. I really appreciate the donations. We're almost at $2,000 total. If we get a little bit more, we'll be up there now. That's really great. Thank you. What would the world look like after this truth is released? Well, we're already starting to see that. We're already starting to see, people are acclimating, they're adjusting, but nothing bad is happening. We're all okay. We're still treating each other with kindness. We're still adults. Everybody lives their lives. It's all good. And so we're okay. Now, we're going to go into a little bit more detail as we close out today's session on the cosmic battle between good and evil to again remind you that most of the ETs out there are benevolent. This is the message of ancient religions. This is the message of, the 7 spheres of heaven, 7 spheres of hell in Hinduism, Theosophy. Most of the beings out there are benevolent. It's about 10 to 1, according to the law of 1. And that's a very important point. We do not want to get sucked into a negative alien disclosure that, oh my God, they're evil and they want to kill us and they want to hurt us and we have to run from them, we have to fear them, we have to be hating them. No. It's all going to be fine. And once we get the truth out, then the positive ones get to do a lot more. They get to have more that they can share with us. They can appear in front of us. In fact, I was told by Dr. Pete Peterson that 35 different species are set to meet us. They were going to do this with Obama during his administration. We'll talk about this next week. During his administration, they were going to meet us at the White House. And apparently there are underground facilities under the White House that were built during the Obama administration. There was a plan to have him come forward with them. That plan got thwarted. We'll talk about that next week. And so that's why I think he does know more than he's letting on. He let out some classified information. He walked it back. That's fine. But again, 35 different species that were going to meet with us, some of whom you can't see them unless there's a special flashlight that you put on them. And the flashlight causes their matter phase to go into phase with our matter so that they become visible to us, whereas otherwise they would not be visible. Really, really weird, interesting stuff that we hear like that they actually are out of phase with our physical matter. J. Bao Philippe says, another donation for you. Thank you very much. They live glasses. Yeah, that's what we need. These recent renovations, I don't know about the ballroom, but it is interesting, right, that the ballroom renovation is taking place and perhaps something bigger is going on there too. We don't really know, but that's a fascinating speculation. I was told that these facilities are built to be comfortable for the different types of beings. Some of them are invisible unless you shine a special flashlight on them. Otherwise, you can't see them. They're transdimensional. That there are some insectoid beings that are going to be seen as well. They have this little hook that comes out of the wall and they snap their carapace into it, and that's how they sleep. Similar to like mantises, I guess, sleeping in grass. So wouldn't that be exciting if we actually get some type of official moment of truth where we get to meet the extraterrestrials, they appear at the White House? That would be amazing. And again, that was apparently originally going to happen during the Obama administration, as disclosed by Dr. Pete Peterson. Now, as we're closing out today's work, I want to remind you about the Heinz 57 disclosed by Sergeant Clifford Stone. We have every reason to believe this is true. It's in his book, Eyes Only, the story of his crash retrieval experience by, forwarded by Robert Salas. So Sergeant Clifford Stone was working a cover job in the U.S. Army. He was occasionally brought out on classified crash retrieval missions. I did get to meet him at Dr. Greer's Disclosure Project. He appeared in both the 96 and 2001 events, and I was able to meet and speak with him extensively beginning on May 10th, the VIP briefing that I attended. An Air Force colonel gave him a flip book, he says, in a big binder describing all these different types of ETs, with a total of 57 varieties of ETs visiting us, described as the Heinz 57. Most of them are human-looking, and many were very similar to us in appearance. So this is fascinating. So 57 different species visiting the Earth, and that's, again, a flip book that they used for decades, apparently, and it talked about their craft, and it talked about what they looked like, and so this is a very important part of disclosure that often gets glossed over, and I want to make sure that it doesn't get lost, that they're mostly benevolent. Telepathic interaction would occur with any being that crashed. He would vividly experience the pain of their injuries, their fear of their own impending death, and he actually cried in the closed executive summary briefing that I witnessed while he was talking about this, which did not happen at the open May 9th event available on video. So again, the event was filmed but never was released. It would be lovely if we could find that copy. I would love that because Sergeant Stone isn't alive anymore. So if anybody can find it, please speak up and get it to Dr. Greer. And I'm sure he would release it. So he received a standing ovation from the VIPs and members of Congress who were attending there. And the 9/11 event took away the disclosure momentum soon thereafter. It was only a few months later. Very sad that that happened. We pray for all the victims. Sorry that that occurred. I I actually said a keyword that I shouldn't have. Cameron Clapp says, this show and topic deserves a character appearance of that other character. No, I'm not in the mood to do that one right now. Sorry. But anyway, it's all good. And I want to thank you guys for being here today. Again, the number 57, immediately provocative to me. Why? Because it was very close to what the Law of One series said, filling in many, many cracks with Dr. Don Elkins, Jim McCarty, Carla Ruckert being the group that did this. Lisa Dawn Marble donated and says, thank you, David. I pray for you every day. You are brave. Keep you 100. I thank God ahead of time, keeping you 100% safe and protected, able to recognize everybody's ethical level and their intentions in 2 seconds before you proceed with any individual. Thank you very much, by the way. Okay. So the contact was from 1981 to 84, mainly in 81. And what they say is that they are from the Confederation of Planets in service of the One Infinite Creator, comprising approximately 53 civilizations with 500 planets in the Confederation. So these are the good guys. And again, I do believe that this material is as accurate as anything that came through. It says they contain those from your own planet, attaining dimensions beyond your third, planetary entities within your solar system, planetary entities from other galaxies. We are not alike, but allied in service according to the Law of One. And again, I believe this was an accurate transmission, as was George Hunt Williamson's work, which gives us the unholy six, or what they call in the Law of One, the Draco or the Orions. So when you add up 53 plus 6, you have 59, which is very close to the Heinz 57. And the Confederation, again, is a benevolent organization of angelic beings who actually manage and transfer planetary populations for us. And they tell us that the universe is built around our third density illusion, as I said before. You're never going to go through anything more hard than it is to live on Earth, working through blindness and confusion. It all comes back to a spiritual perspective where we're transitioning into fourth density. As I said, 35 ancient prophecies telling us this. And I do believe this is going to be a benevolent event. The Law of One says that it could take 100 to 700 years after the quantum leap that we're going through now. But we may still see a first wave. The events did cluster around 2025, and now in 2026, like we're not that far into 2026. Everything is supercharged, man. It is happening at warp drive speed, which I love. I'm so excited about this. I began studying this material, as I said, in 96. I became an expert by May 10th, 2001, when I went to the Disclosure Project. Dr. Elkins was researching this since the 1950s and decided telepathic communication was the best approach. It tells us the universe is ultimately one mind. It tells us galaxies are individuated beings, or logoi. Each galaxy designs the beings that will live on its planets. It tells us 40% of the universe populated with human-like beings, and that galaxies are individuated beings with entities existing in third, fourth, fifth, and sixth densities. At the seventh density, you move into foreverness, and that confederations are forming to assist third density planets like ours, where it is normal for each third density world, therefore, to have a vast hidden history of contacts. It tells us the universe teaches us love and forgiveness, that the first distortion or karma happens when we deviate from that loving forgiveness, that eventually we're going to reunify with the Creator in a series of progressive evolutionary leaps. So we know that these insiders have been fascinated by these corollaries, and so again, this to me is the cosmic cosmology that we're getting from Disclosure, that as Disclosure unfolds, if it goes the way I hope it will, we're going to learn about positive, benevolent beings. We're going to learn about that we're not alone in the universe. We're going to learn all these really cool things. And hopefully I was on the right thing there. I hope I was. I hope I wasn't on my slides. But anyway, I might have actually been on my, might have been on the wrong thing there. But anyway, this is really cool. So thank you guys for being here today. And now at the 3-hour, 18-minute mark, it is time for our all-inspiring global peace meditation. Yeah, I don't like the word alien either. So anyway, let's do that right now. Let's have you put both feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Just let it go. I'll have a little more water here. Breathing in peace, breathing in love, breathing in positive energy. Letting ourselves feel at rest, at peace in the universe. We are so grateful that the truth is coming into view. We are so grateful that this ascension process is happening now. Living in that love, living in that truth, living in the bounty that is disclosure. And just allow yourself to relax. Allow your mind to wander, following the path of your breath. Let your breaths naturally rise and fall as they want to do. Thank you for the donations, everyone. Moving into the stillness of this moment. Being easy with yourself, being compassionate and kind, knowing that it's okay to have confusion. It's okay that you don't know everything. It's okay to be lost at times. It's okay to fall off the path. We find the path. We find those positive moments. We find those distinctions that transform us. We take those inspiring moments of life and we breathe in healing. We breathe in peace. Breathe in the love that is our birthright, that is there for us to make us whole once more. The love of Christ, the love of the higher power, the feelings of intelligence, the feelings of warmth, the feelings of compassion. Envisioning multidimensional beings, beings of light, greeting us with their warm smiles, with their loving intentions, reminding us that we are not alone, that we have always been watched over, guided and protected, kept in the palm of the Creator's hand, a loving, infinite universe that has never left us, but has been here with us the entire time, making sure that we will be okay. Bringing us to a renewed understanding of who we are, what it means to be human, what we are doing here on planet Earth. Where is all of this taking us? How can we become better versions of ourselves? What is involved in our own evolution? How will we grow as we learn more and more about the true nature of reality, who we are, what we are doing here, and where we are going? We have an open mind and an open heart, a spirit of adventure and compassion. We bless all those who are suffering. We bless all those in need of prayer and healing, expanding our minds, expanding our consciousness, taking in what's really going to be happening as we get more and more disclosure. Will we have a galactic family reunion? Will we get to meet these beings? Will they show up for us? Maybe, perhaps, disclosure will give them permission where they can actually do this for us. Maybe for once we will finally know that we are not alone and get to meet our cosmic brothers and sisters, remembering who we are, remembering how beautiful it is to be a part of this everlasting tapestry of space and time. Letting ourselves go deeper now, deeper into the stillness, deeper into the peace, deeper into the silence. Allow your mind to just wander. Allow yourself to feel very, very relaxed, very deeply in tune with this universal harmonic energy, this life wave that gives rise to all of those here on this planet. And we are at peace, breathing into that life wave, breathing into the remembrance of who we are, remembering that we are not alone, remembering what really is going on, and how long we have strived to be part of the grace of the one infinite Creator, how long we have strived to live in the majesty of our true divine inheritance, how wonderful it is to walk with the Christ consciousness, to walk in the Spirit of God, the Spirit of the Creator, to breathe in the living awareness of infinite intelligence, to live in that knowingness, to be a part of it, and to know that as we live with life of compassion and love, peace, forgiveness, patience, austerity, and humility, that we are allowing ourselves to become open channels to universal Christ consciousness. The message of Christ so simple: love one another, be patient in forgiveness, and know that you are one with me. As I do these things, so shall you do them, and greater things. For I go unto my Father, Mother, God. We are so grateful to be here today with each other. We are so grateful to have aligned. If any ads come up, we just hit skip and stay in our meditation. We are thankful for all that we share with one another in this time together. We are thankful for the gifts that have come and the many inheritances that we are still set to receive as the universe brings us closer and closer to a divine alignment. This disclosure step is something we have waited for many years. We are very grateful for that. We look forward to the future. We look forward to unfolding into who we really are. We look forward to becoming more conscious of who else is out there, learning that we are not alone, accepting that fact, and being able to accept ourselves and others even more than ever before with this deep intrinsic knowledge of what is really going on, how we have never been abandoned, never been left alone, but we are truly walking in the grace of the Almighty, each step, every day, moving forward, taking stock of who we are and what we are, for the highest and greatest good of all those involved here on earth, living in physical incarnation. For we are so grateful about what's going on. We are so grateful to have our lives, so grateful that this is happening. It is truly a miracle that we have reached this point right before the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. One day before, we have the stunning announcement that we are not alone in the universe, that there is life out there. We are going to get told about this in so many different interesting ways. We embrace the truth. We embrace the fact that it might not all be positive, it might not all be exciting, but we are ready, and we want to see this happen. We know that this is a very important part of our evolution. It is not a distraction. We're not being pulled away from any important truths. It is something that we really need. Disclosure will change everything. It will bring us suppressed technology, hidden truth, and so much that we have not yet seen, that it is just awe-inspiring and wonderful to realize that we have finally reached this point now, and that all is well as we move through this evolutionary quantum leap that is coming our way right now. We are so grateful, Father, Mother, God, for your help and your guidance in all this. We are grateful that you are helping us through this transition. We are grateful for the ascension. We are grateful for the heavenly host of divine angelic beings that surround us and guide us and watch over us and protect us. And let's send all this energy to those areas in the world where there are still wars and conflicts, where peace has still not reigned. Let us bless ourselves as we do this prayer and meditation, that for our own health, any of those who may be going through snowstorms or rain or dryness and drought, we thank you so much, Father, Mother, God. Thank you so much for the divinity that you give us, for the awareness that we are never alone, that you have always been there with us, and that we will uphold your glory to the best of our ability as spiritual individuals. For thine is the power and the glory and the kingdom forever and ever. And so it is. We thank you very much, and we are always reminded that we are loved more than we could ever possibly imagine, and that the divinity is ours to share. We revel in it, we embrace it, and we gladly resonate with others who share our perspectives as well. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, and we are very grateful today that you will send this healing to all those who need it, including us and our loved ones, and all those pockets of tension in the world. Let us de-escalate the area around Iran. Let us hope we can get to a peaceful settlement there, some type of a deal. That would be wonderful. We really don't want to see things spiral out of control. And if it does end up going into war, let's pray that it goes as smoothly and quickly as possible, with minimum loss of life. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Father, Mother. All right. We are back. Let's wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. We had a lot of donations coming in, and I thank you guys all for doing that. Let's see how many I missed here. I missed a lot of them. So I had J. Bo Philippe, and he wanted an Angry Daddy routine. Shouldn't you boys get a job on your own darn planet? You gray ETs, just get the hell out of here. For God's sake, I've tried and tried and tried to give you some type of wisdom about the significance of what we have here and that we don't want you guys messing around with our planet. Get the hell out of here. I have had it. Oh, my God. Anyway, there you go. Some Angry Daddy. We're going to go for the 333 timeline. So we had Gene Novacek donated $17.77. Soulopoly says, you are a bright light, donated $9.99. Thank you guys very much for that. And D. Coupette said, thank you for your work and service. It's been a long time coming. We are here, Danu. All right. Well, we got some last-minute trolling going on. That's okay. Oh, my God. Well, thank you guys for popping up. Trolls that pop up at the last minute. We know who we have to moderate. Appreciate that. David, you are a blueprint left behind, a divine masculine blueprint. Your service to others is known, says Wade Woodruff. Well, thank you very much. Anyway, you guys are all too kind, and really glad that you were here today. We had an amazing turnout of 4,000 live viewers. Let's see what it said the top the concurrent viewers was. I don't know. It's not telling me that right now. But anyway, we definitely were up around 4,000. We have other donations coming in. We have April D, we have LCD, and we have Voidwalker Mark. Thank you guys very much. It's awesome that you did that for me. 7 Geometric Thought Forms. Thank you guys so much. Again, I really appreciate all that. You made it a great show. And again, I didn't burden you with a lot of Law of One today, but oh my God. So that's okay. We have everything that we need here, but that's all right. I love you guys. I'm glad that you're here. I want to read some more of your comments in the last couple of seconds that we have here. So this is all good, man. I'm very pleased that you guys are here. Best wishes. May your future content be fruitful. Great meditation, says Leonard. Why wasn't Dr. Greer's disclosure remembered? Well, I'm bringing it back, the 2001 disclosure. Let it snow, says Scarlet Fire. Sending love and blessings to all, says Claudia. Thanks for the meditation, spiritual implications. Great show, says Cameron Clapp. Simply thank you, says Scott Monson. Thank you to the moderators. Can you make some nature videos of the snow? Well, I'm not getting snow. But anyway, thanks so much, David. Exciting info, says Gail. Thank you, David, says Ansi Jarvinian. Today was a great show, David. Thank you, brother. Ghost of Adi, says Johnny. Great information show. David, you are the light of truth. Well, I am a light of truth, but I'm not the light of truth. Let's be clear on that. No worship is wanted or invited. Gene Novacek, the Law of One is not a burden. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for being here. This has been a great show. We're going to do the 3 minutes and 33 seconds. I like that. And we were at 3133 concurrent viewers at the same time. That's pretty freaking awesome. Magreed Birdsong Priestess, thanks once again. MS Love, thank you, David. I absolutely love you from the top of the world. Incredible show and meditation. Bless you from all of us. You are a dear friend, says Soul Coach Suzanne. Keep on trucking, says Joe Blow. Acapella says, I hope I don't lose power. I hope so too. Scarlet Fire, you light up my life. LOL. Well, thank you very much, Scarlet. And thank you guys for watching. We're going to say now, as we close it out, thank you again so much for being here, and scene. All right.